And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 136. So I hope you guys have had a great week so far, and I hope you have a great weekend coming up for you as well. And I hope all of you are safe and you are being productive in your life, because life can always throw you curveballs and it's so unexpected. But at least, try and get to a point in your life where you are stable enough to the point where, like, if something does happen to you, at least you're in a good, comfortable place. Like for me, myself, I worked literally so much, put my head in the sand that, I have my own place now. I've had several of my own places before. I've had 3 different apartments in the last 5 years, and I got to a point where I'm a good guy in a stable position where things happen, I'm good to go. So, try to work on that for my younger viewers out there. You can have girls. It's fun. I've had girls before. They taste very good. But don't let that distract you from trying to make money. All that just matters in life, despite what any poor person says. All that matters in life is money, because money will give you the access to get so many things you want. I mean, to even have that girlfriend or wife you're always talking about. Well, she can't be homeless with you outside eating out of trash cans. Yeah, that's not going to be most girls, if not many girls, right? So, try to balance out doing good in life, going to work, and making money to get your own place. And yeah, it's going to be hard. People are like, oh, it's going to be hard. I never told you it was going to be easy. Just get to fucking work. That's all you have to do. Like everything in life is, I would say this because me and my friend were talking about this like a few weeks ago before the new year started. Like, it's crazy. I don't fault parents for working so hard so their kids have everything. I think that's a great, admirable thing when a parent does that. It's really, really good. But I will say this, life without any hardships is boring as fuck. Like, imagine your life without any of the hardships you had. That'd be pretty fucking boring, right? No conflict, no one to challenge you on anything, no fights, no nothing. Like, yeah, fuck that. I like the life I had. A lot of conflicts and a lot of stuff that taught me everything I needed to know moving forward. I basically have the tools to cope with whatever life throws at me to some degree.
I mean, it depends on how rich you are.
Well, I was a poor black guy, so rich was never, ever going to be a possibility. But I also tell people this because, people always say this for black people. Oh, they were in a poor neighborhood. They had to commit crime. No, they don't. How many poor people do you know from your life that are poor still and you don't commit crime? Yeah, because you're in a poor neighborhood doesn't mean you just start doing crime, So we're going to have a great show tonight, guys. Later on in the show, we are going to be reviewing the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback. This was written by Jonathan Hickman.
Woohoo.
And coming up this Tuesday, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can have that other comic book review with another person that I set up. And then also on that same Tuesday coming up, we are going to be doing a comic book review on the Ultimate Invasion one-shot. So this is something that I want to tell you guys before we even do the review later on in the show, is that when you buy this, also go on eBay or Amazon or whatever and buy this too. This is essentially a one-shot that they released after Ultimate Invasion. Why they didn't put it in this trade paperback? Well, it's because Marvel is fucking stupid and they don't make any sense with what they do decisions. Like, why would a company reboot a Spider-Man series that is always in the top 5 for a cheap #1 sales boost? I don't know, because Marvel Comics is stupid, generally speaking. So yeah, you can buy it digitally or you can just buy a floppy. I would say if you can, buy a floppy from your local comic book store, support them, or buy it from a local comic book store on eBay for a seller that's selling it for cheap. Yes. Yeah, I was very surprised when Marvel did not, put that in there. I'm like, why? It would make...
Yeah, especially since it's so essential. It's so essential to setting up everything that they went into with their Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. Well, as you guys know, the guy that I do comic book content with, as well as Professor Savage Dad, the new white guy. We're basically men in white. I'll call ourselves the new white street. I'm just kidding. Last comic fan. As you guys can see, the part of the world he's at right now is freezing to death. And the part that I'm at in the world is on fire. So I have blazing fire in my... next state. You guys are freezing to death. I don't know which hell God is putting us under, but I guess he gave us the literal worst ends of it. Rio, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
It's definitely both sides of the spectrum, for sure. Doesn't like us right now. And the worst part
Huh.
is my basement where I record is heated. It's fucking heated. And like I come down here and I have to put a space heater on and another one. And I'm like, I'm still cold.
Yeah. Even up here, since I'm high, well, that would actually pan out worse for me because the house that I have now is higher elevated. So the ones that I used to have in this different part of the neighborhood, they were like lower elevated, but we were like lower to like this bridge, this train area. And when it got cold, it got really cold because I had to pay for gas over there because I had to pay for gas and I had to pay for electricity. And the only way to like really heat up the house was to basically turn on the oven and leave it open.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah. People say you're not supposed to do it at all. It's really, really bad. But I was like, fuck it. Because
sometimes you have to.
Yeah, because people don't understand. If you put in an electric heater, not only does that triple your bill, you'll be looking at your gas bill like going, or the electricity bill and just going like, what the fuck? So yeah, highly refrain if you can from using anything for like an electric heater in the wintertime. I know it sucks. So if you're poor, obviously buy more blankets, obviously, or just for a little bit, turn on your oven. Open it a little bit. Don't open the whole thing and just leave it on for a little bit. Just like a good 10 minutes. Warm your house up a little bit, But I don't deal with that now because I obviously live in a much better place now. But goddamn, wintertime was hell. Like summertime was easy. You just turn on the cooler and put on the fan. Easy. But wintertime, oh my God.
When I was living by myself, I used to take my kitchen table and put it near the oven door and open the oven and sleep under the table.
You're crazy. You're insane.
I was cold.
The railing would have been hot as hell if you like touched the railing on accident when you were sleeping. Yeah. If you're poor, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter at all.
Dude, I'm being dead serious. At that time, you know what I had for dinner? I took a flour tortilla and put peanut butter and jelly on it. That's what I had. So life wasn't so hot for me back then.
Eating ketchup sandwiches, the best.
Oh, dude, I had many ketchup sandwiches.
God, yeah, mine was peanut butter. Good
miscellaneous vegetables in the cupboard, cans of vegetables. You're like, oh, what's this? 1972. Nah.
I'm not gonna lie. If you're living alone, canned food doesn't sound so bad when you don't have any money. You basically just get a pot, put it in there, heat it up, and eat it. And I'm not gonna lie, canned food doesn't expire very fast anyway. It expires in like 2 years plus.
When you're really poor, you find out when you haven't eaten in a long time, you're gonna eat whatever. If it's edible, you're gonna eat it. You don't get to go, I don't like bologna. Guess what? That bologna looks like a steak after 4 days of not eating anything.
How poor were you? It's not like you were just poor.
Listen. Oh, yes, I was. Oh, yeah, dude. I went from I'm dead serious. I went from living on the street. I left my house with a backpack with a pair of underwear, a pair of shorts, a pair of pants, 2 shirts, and something else, not thinking like, oh, hey, winter is coming. I went to the city, which was Pittsburgh, and for the first year there, it was not pleasant. It was not cool. And I was avoiding the police because I didn't want to get put in the system.
God,
so
man.
like it was when I got my first place with one of my friends that I had made, like he was an art student. He didn't have anything. He had nothing. And he was letting me live there for free. So like the things we had to do. Yeah, dude, I had no money, no income, nothing.
Yeah. Damn. And people don't understand, like when you live on your own, like for me, like I said earlier, I had to pay for electricity, there's internet, there's rent, there's food, things start piling up. And you're like, wait a minute, I actually have to make sure I'm not like eating all my food at once. I have to make sure that I'm not using too much electricity, all that shit, That's why I think even if you can't afford a home, even if you just have an apartment, you just live on your own, it'll teach you so much about how like the world works. And I think it just makes you a better person overall, like actually renting something or owning it on your own,
For sure. Yes.
Because a lot of people don't understand that stuff. Because when you're talking to most people now, since the economy is as bad as it is, they're living at home with their parents, maybe until like they're 30, 35, right? They just don't understand what someone goes through when because basically people don't understand this. When you live by yourself, or if you just have your wife or whatever, well, all that depends on you. If you fail, you lose everything. Like you just don't have nothing. Everyone's depending on you. So you have to make sure you budget good. You have to make sure your bills are paid on time. Right when I get paid, my bills are getting paid instantly.
That's the first thing. Yeah, you have to. That's the first thing. So like my wife does the budgeting, and we have our my mom, since my dad died, we have our mom staying with us. She got old, she just couldn't, you know what I mean? She couldn't.
Happens.
It's like, hey, you took care of me.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take care of you. And like literally as soon as I get paid, I get half of my paycheck and I go, there you go, pay the bills. I'll do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you have to do. And it teaches you responsibility. It does make you, it makes you appreciate things more.
It does. Yeah. Even for me, I got paid today. I'll usually buy something at the gas station, like snacks that I'll use like later in the day. Come home, straight to the bank, pull out the rent money, came back over here, went online, paid my internet bill. Then I pulled out my pull list because the reason why I always do my pull list is because next week, for those of you guys who don't know, there's nothing coming out that I'll be buying. It's crazy. This is the first week in a very, very, very long time since I started buying comics as like a pull list for myself weekly. There's nothing coming out. Not a trade, not an omnibus, not a single title. There is a Lex Luthor one-shot book they're doing, but it's not worth like just grabbing right now.
This past week was ridiculous for me. This past week was
this past week was huge. I think I spent the most this past week. I spent about 80 some bucks because I was going to buy the DC Finance Green Arrow book that dropped, but on mycomicshop.com, the DC Finance books, if they're like anything super special like that one, they get bought immediately.
They're bought
so I had to go
quick.
I had to go on eBay, and I had to do a PayPal Pay in 4 on the DC Green Arrow book. So I just replaced that one with the Hal Jordan, with the Green Lantern one that I wanted. So after that Green Lantern one, since I have nothing to buy next week, I'll just get the Kyle Rayner book that Savage Dad and me wanted to go over because I don't know Kyle Rayner that much. I know like one thing about him. Two things. He was the Green Lantern when Hal went on sort of like random killing spree.
Yeah, he became like the original Parallax, not the Fear Entity Parallax.
Yeah,
he became Parallax. It was after Emerald Twilight.
Because Kyle Rayner became the Green Lantern for a little bit there. So, man, this
for actually a little, actually quite a while. Actually, he was for a while, and then Hal went off and became the Spectre, and it was weird for Hal Jordan for a while.
Man, like the order is still processing. I spent. How much did I spend on this one? $70, $73 I spent. There's a lot of stuff here. So I got Wolverine Revenge, issue number 4. Yeah, because Jonathan Hickman.
It's fantastic, man.
I like
Dude, he's killing it right now.
I will say this. People criticize him a lot. I actually had Wolverine Revenge number 1 as one of the best comics I'd read in 2024, along with a Wolverine deep cut by Chris Claremont. Just both issue number 1s. This is the thing. I understand the criticism that his book got. I did. But outside of the little small criticisms, I actually really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, honestly.
But here's the thing with Hickman, though. Everybody does this. It's like, dude, the first book is going to be either set up or he's going to show you a bunch of stuff at first. Then it's going to... He has a way of doing things. Just, you end up loving it in the end. You end up loving the whole... If you don't like Hickman, you don't like him. It's one thing. If you don't, it's a love or hate relationship. But you can't tell me that the dude does not know how to create the world and the mythos around the characters that he's writing. And he's a dialogue heavy man.
He sure is. When we get into this, I will definitely be voicing my concerns about how much I wanted to off myself. I'm kidding, guys. I'm joking. Can a man joke around here? What else did I get? So I heard some good things about this one new series called Night of the Slashers. Okay. So some guy was talking about it in one of the comic book groups that I'm a part of on Facebook. So I got Night of Slashers number 1. I was going to add in the other issues because they're on issue 3 right now, but I was like, you know what? I'll get it later on my next pull list because, I usually always try out the first book to see if I enjoyed it. That way I'll commit later on to the whole thing. Justice League Unlimited number 3, Iron Man, the new revamp series after Jerry Duggan's run, issue 4. Detective Comics. I haven't. Not yet. I haven't gone through it yet. Detective Comics by Tom Taylor, the DC's Finest Green Lantern, The Defeat of Green Lantern, and an Absolute Wonder Woman number 4. So that's what I got this week. Yep. Good Lord. Man, it was a huge pull list.
Yeah.
Because I made sure to do it this week because next week I'm buying nothing, so I'll just save money to buy not. There's literally nothing coming out. I've never had a week like that. I've been buying weekly books since like early 2023 when I discovered like how to do it myself. Because comics are around here, so I was just buying trades for the most part. I was like, oh, what's this website? Because I would type up upcoming comic book releases, and then I stumbled upon League of Comics Geeks. So I would see just the books that would come out every single week, and then when I hit the tagline of like trades and omnibuses coming out, then we'll show the omnibuses that come out too, because a lot of people don't get this. It's not just the weekly books that come out. Do people know that they reprint stuff in trades?
Yes.
Omnibuses constantly. Like it's, man, the average person just thinks like, oh man, it's just new books that come out. Now you're fucking smoking actual crack. There's new omnis that drop. There's new trades that drop. There's epic collections that drop. DC's now doing their own epic collections that are dropping. You know,
I mean, whenever we did the Back in Action Green Lantern, when I picked this up, I had the singles, but I picked this up just because, I mean, just as you're talking about back issues, I went out and just because I wanted it, I have it, but I bought the Tower of Babel Deluxe Edition.
Oh, classic cover.
Just to have it. Like, even though I have the other one, I wanted the Deluxe Edition. And that's how it is for comic book people, man. You see something when you're looking for something specific, you're like, oh, there's this, and there's this, and there's that.
Damn. Do I have a story for you guys? So as you guys know, I'm not really the biggest guy on like back issues because I feel like that's just a waste of money. It's better to just get them in a collected run if you can, if it's printed. So I'm trying to get all of the Iron Man epic collections because it starts from Tales of Suspense.
Yes.
And then when I got volume 2 and I had that one done, I was looking on Amazon because there's like reading orders. So for anyone who wants to see reading orders, type up insert character reading order. Usually Goodreads will have it all listed in order. When I was looking at the epic collections, because Amazon didn't do this, that's why like Goodreads is better. If you get to Iron Man epic collection volume 6, it cuts. And then it's just volume 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 new printing just dropped, which was Stark, which was like Armor Wars or whatever. I was like, what the fuck is volume 7? Because people know if I'm doing something in order, I'm not jumping to volume 10. I literally cannot. I'll miss like a chunk of shit. People are like, but the stuff you're gonna read in that in between is not good. Doesn't matter.
I don't care.
I'll be the judge of that. It's like I have to have things in order. Marvel is going to release Iron Man Epic Collection Volume 7 come this June. This June coming up in 2025.
Nice. That's good.
I still need Volume 8 and I still need Volume 9. No, because they had 10 through 13.
Did they have 10 through 13? Okay.
Yeah, I need 8 and 9. I was like, I don't even know when 8 and 9's coming out.
Well, I have a similar story. So for 2, the golden age you see back here for Batman, right? I did 1 through 5, right? Easy. You go look for 6, and it's like it's like $700, and I'm like, no. So I got like 9 and 10 because that's where it stops at 10, and then it goes to the Silver Age, which I have.
Yeah.
And so I finally finished it. I finally got it all done, right? And I did some trades with some people and some money and stuff like that. But even still, it was like you look for those ones, you're like, okay, it's $50, $80, $700. And you're like, what the and it's like everywhere. It's everywhere.
More money or it gets less money. So like this one will do you guys. So the Tom King Batman run for those deluxe editions that you guys see some people have, getting book 1 easy, getting book 2 not that bad. Takes a little bit of time, but you can get book 2. Try getting book 3 and you will stop. Yeah, getting book 3 is very hard. You can get book 6, but that 3, 4, and 5 hard to get. Some of them aren't even like $100 or $120 plus shipping. Some of them are literally $300 people are charging for because they've not been reprinted and they're out of print. And let's be honest here, DC's probably not doing any more deluxe editions for a very, very, very long time. Considering the fact that they're recently just doing DC's Finest line. And if you're just talking about Tom King, they just reprinted half of his run in a compendium, book 1, and they are also reprinting a lot of those trades that his run was on. So like even if you just want deluxe edition, not just on Batman, for Flash. For Nightwing, for Suicide Squad, for fucking Green Arrow, Green Lantern. Those are a lot of money. The one Iron Man Epic Collection I was stuck on before I finally found it this week was Iron Man Epic Collection Volume 3, The Man Who Killed Tony Stark. I couldn't find it online. I couldn't find any website that had it. Organic Price Books didn't have it. In Stock Trades didn't have it. CheapGraphicNovels.com didn't have it. Amazon, buy it digitally. Like, fuck that. I need that shit in my hands.
Yeah, I want the yes.
Yeah.
I want the physical.
Saw a guy with 25 sales on eBay having, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It was legit. It was legit. Yeah. He had pictures and everything. Usually, I don't always take risks on newer sellers because it could be like scams or whatever. But if you have pictures up and I respond to you, I'm like, hey man, you're a new seller. I'm trusting this one time. Hopefully I get my shit. They're usually pretty responsive about it. They know, as you're a new seller, you have to make sure someone gets their shit.
Yes.
So I messed up with a PayPal pay in 4. I had paid the full amount at once, and I was like, oh shit, I can't do that. So he refunded it, and then I said, hey, I'm still getting the book. Just relist it, and I'll just pay it off over time. He's like, that's full. I was like, hell yeah. So I finally got Volume 3. It was weeks. I spent about at least 3 weeks waiting for someone to have it.
Dude, I waited
$80.
I waited forever for Claremont's run on X-Men. They had 1, 3, 4, and 5 easy. Number 2, it wasn't. They didn't reprint it until this past like couple of months ago.
Yeah, for X-Men Epic Collections too. So I wanted to get all the X-Men Epic Collection stuff in order. So I got book 1 easy. Literally, I just bought it. Try getting book 2. Just try getting book 2. That's where I was like, fucking hell. Spider-Man's easier to collect. Spider-Man's also a hefty price too. Like it gets to like I think Spider-Man's gets easier because they don't charge as much for the older for like the runs that are basically
also
after
in
the
so many
Saga.
different formats too. It's in
Well,
like you can get the Masterworks, you
get
Epic Collection, you can get Omnis, you can get this. So I mean, but yes, if you're going for one specific. Like
if you get Masterworks, the problem with the Masterworks that I've looked into is that at some point Marvel could just like stop doing it for that.
No, 100% they do.
Yeah,
and it sucks because they are so different looking with the silver, like it's so different that it sticks out dramatic. Because I have like the Defenders, not a great team, whatever, but there's some really good issues. But they only have like 1 through 9, and it's like, where's the rest of it? Like you said, they just stopped. And they move on to like someone else.
If you're gonna get Epic Collections, try looking up a reading order first. I was gonna get a Doctor Strange book to start off Doctor Strange. The one that they recommended was like, okay, this is probably the first one. Cheap, $40. No, it was not. It was not the first one. That's the tricky part too, as you said earlier. Like with Masterworks, I was looking through all the Masterworks of Spider-Man, and I was like, it'd be just better if I just got this in Epic Collection, because at some point, I know Epic Collections are going to come out. I don't know if they're going to keep doing Masterworks. Like when I'll watch like Near Mint Condition, and like sometimes they'll have like Masterworks. I'm like, they're still doing these? That's crazy. It's you haven't heard about it in so long.
But they don't publicize them as much. They really just don't. Yeah. And it's weird because like you would think that would be something people would want because it's literally the page for page exact replica of what it was, just from the original cells, just recolored, brightly colored stuff like that. But I understand it, but I also get pissed off at it. Like you said with the X-Men, especially, like I have a bunch of the Epic collections, especially for the Jim Lee run, because that's volume 2. So it's like, already it's like in demand.
Do you know what's crazy, dude? Someone said to start, I was watching a comic book report. Awesome guy. I love comic book report. But that man did a X-Men recommended reading order. And he had like a bunch of X-Men omnibuses from like Giant Size X-Men to Grant Morrison's era on X-Men to Jim Lee and Chris Claremont's X-Men run. And I was like, brother, try looking up how much it costs to buy Giant Size X-Men omnibus. That shit costs almost like $500.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Fucking hell,
thankfully,
man.
like there's certain ones like Jeff Johns, like his JSA run, I could get 2 and 3 or 1. I forget which one it was, but thankfully they reprinted the one I needed. Cause like when you want something like that, especially a full run, you know what I mean? You want the full run. You want the whole thing. I don't want to just pretend that I know what happens. And I don't want digital. I just don't. Like I do if I have to, if I want to read something right away. And
I can't do digital, man. I'll literally hurt my eyes reading wording that small. That's why I have to do physical. Come on, my friend gave me a certain pirate site That's a One Piece site, huh? Yeah, that where you can just read all the books digitally. It's like I can't. I literally tried to, and my eyes hurt so bad after doing it. I was like, I can't do it.
When I first started getting back into comics,
Mhm.
because that's why my name's the Lapsed Comic Fan, I spent the time away from it, and I did a lot of digital, and I will attest it has ruined my eyes because now I have to wear reading glasses when I read. I never had problems with my eyes ever, and that's what it is. If I try to like read like stuff like this, I had to do digitally because I
Mhm.
couldn't find. I know I have it, but I couldn't find it, so I had to
Yeah.
buy it. And I'm like reading this, and I'm like, what the fuck? I had to put on those stupid glasses, and I'm like, all right, I could see it, but like, damn, dude, like. I want physical. I like physical media. There's always good, especially with movies and stuff like that. What happens when your streaming sites go belly up and all that money you wasted spending
Mhm.
on those movies, you're done.
Mhm.
At least, hey, I got entertainment for years if it goes dark. If something happens,
Mhm.
I will be fine.
Or, there's days where randomly, sometimes throughout a year, you'll lose electricity because a power
Yeah.
line will go out, or something of that nature happens. You can literally just probably open a book and just start reading it. At
Yep.
least you'll have entertainment. I remember that's what I did last year. One of our over here, like just a block over, one of the poles went down off the stoplights and it cut the wire. So they had to go and refix the wire. Took like almost all day. Shit
Mhm.
wasn't done till like 10 o'clock in the night. I was just sitting there just reading books, honestly.
Well, 2 years ago, we had an ice storm here and power and everything was off for 3 days.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Everything. It was
Fucking hell.
terrible.
Yeah.
So I was like, we were all thankfully we have up here in the mountains, we get everybody's got kerosene heaters. So at least we stayed warm. But I had all those little bookworm lights reading my comic books like, fuck, it's cold. But hey, at least I was entertained.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell people this. If you try to get into, hopefully one day when the comic channel gets bigger, I can do videos about this. Actually collecting series is because
Mhm.
the reason why it's also so hard is because when you try to get to a certain part of a character's run, there could be a point where that shit isn't even reprinted at all.
Yes.
Or there's a part where the only way to get it is to get back issues. But if you're a person like me, I love me some floppies. Yeah, I do like floppies, but this shit just looks better on a shelf, and it just is
It
always
does.
preserved better in a trade. You might have that as an option. Like, I know DC had this big problem with their original stuff because the original age is the Bronze Age, right? It's Bronze Age, Silver Age,
Well,
right?
it's Golden Age,
Golden Age,
and
Silver.
Silver Age, Bronze Age.
Yeah, so
Golden
like
Age is like the late 30s to the 50s, starting 50s. Then the 50s, the Silver Age might have been the shortest. I'm not positive. I can't
yeah.
remember.
You know what's
But
crazy?
then it goes to the Bronze Age
And one of my
to
Batman
whatever it is now.
encyclopedias, that I have, they label anything after the 90s the Dark Age. I'm not even kidding. It's literally an official canon.
They
I have
have
the
a 100 greatest moments Batman book, right?
Mhm.
And that it says that in there.
Yeah.
It
I
says
was kind of
during the
wondered.
Dark Age. Yeah.
I was kind of wondered, like, well, what's after the 90s then? I think it's called, pretty fitting, I would say, because no one really calls it. Oh, okay, so after the Dark Age, when do you think that ends? Because people now call this the Modern Age.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm like, calling it the
doesn't
Dark Age is kind of weird because I understand that the 90s, it was real big
yeah.
at the beginning, Image and all that stuff and everything, and Jim Lee's X-Men #1, the biggest selling comic ever, blah blah blah, all this stuff,
Mhm.
and the death of Superman, and then it kind of just tanked.
Mhm.
It was as big as it was, and then it tanked in the same decade. So I understand, but there was a lot of good stuff in the 90s, like in my opinion. That was my the late 80s and 90s was my heyday of collecting. So maybe I don't know. I don't know what you would call it now, like between the dark and the modern age.
Because you're like,
I don't know.
what year does the Dark Age end? Because if we're calling it Modern Age, because I guess the Dark Age begins at what, 2000, 2012, 2013 till now is the Modern Age. So after this decade's over, what would you call this decade? The New Age? I don't know. These ages aren't known anymore.
No. And they should just be like, hey, we're gonna write good stories. Fuck talking about what age it's in. Could you just write good shit?
I'm saying, if people go and try to look for that Bronze Age stuff you're talking about, those Bronze Age omnibuses, even those get cut off at a certain point.
I still like they still haven't made past 3 for Batman.
You're right. Yeah, Green Lantern, Superman. They
Yeah.
made up till 3. Flash. They made up till 3. It's like they just
Mhm.
stopped.
They stopped, and I
They
don't know. I
just
don't think it's the end because they're still in the Jim Aparo, Jim Starling
yeah.
era. So it's like, it's dude, you would love some of the stuff. It's so fucking funny. We were talking about on the Green Lantern the way the bad guys team was talking in the graveyard.
Yeah, yeah.
It's some of the Batman stuff in the 70s and 60s. He's, hey, hep cats, what you doing there? And the way they draw minorities is the funniest. Every black dude has a giant fro. He's got like big bell bottoms, and they're like, "Hey, Batman, how you doing there, bro?" And you're like, "What the fuck what is happening right now?" It's definitely stuck in its own era. You know what I mean? Like it's still funny though.
Because I think before we do the review of the Ultimate Invasion trade, I think this is something that someone had told me on Twitter. He was like, "Okay, right now, guys, it's time to stop complaining, and then we have to basically push new things." Okay, so people have told me this, but it's okay. I'll say this: talking about nerd stuff on the internet has existed well pretty much since the internet began, on like Pojo and forums and shit like that, right? Like,
Dude, I remember talking hubs and news groups before, like you would trade like record MIDI files and people were talking in chat rooms. This was like in the early 90s.
Even in real life, people were always talking about this.
For sure.
So,
100%. I always tell this on my
Mhm.
channel. I had a conversation with a guy in a comic book store about who drew Batman's cape the best. This was an in-depth conversation with yelling.
So this is the person's tweet. He says, "Okay, guys, it's getting to the point to where doing nothing but complaining about Hollywood and American comics, this and that, it's getting old, and you guys need to start giving up. I would say giving up recommendations for alternative entertainment, not just old stuff." I said, "Speak for yourself." He says, "You do realize that just complaining doesn't do anything, right? We need to start replacing the old stuff with some of the new stuff that's actually good for me. I review anime. That's what I recommend as an alternative." So there's already so many holes in this logic. Let's just be completely honest here. I am not trying to shit on any comic artists. I don't. I've bought a lot of their stuff. I can even prove to you I bought a lot of their stuff. I'm just going to be honest here, guys. The stuff is very amateur-like. There's been one of the indie books that I have actually... Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll be fair. There's about 3 of them that I could tell you that I would probably say I really, really enjoyed reading the books, So that would be Dean Cannell, American Lawman, Volume 1. Okay. I thought that was one of my favorite books to read in 2024. It was a great book, honestly. Start to finish, great. I'll say in 2024, I also read, because in 2023, I read Alpha Core. Did I not? I don't remember, honestly. Fucking hell. The Horseman. I know I read that recently. That was good. What else did I read that was really good? Holy shit, that's indie related. Because I'm saying indie because Big Man Comics and Rivers Comics would definitely be considered indie because, people would know who they were. Right. Other stuff that I've read that was indie, I would say, outside of those books specifically, like even Eric's books, like the first Isom books definitely have their fair share of issues, right? Like they're not terrible. They're not like obviously like they're not like dog shit.
I'll say the first one I thought was cool because it was like
I did too.
A whole new. He did exactly what people said that nobody was doing, and then they wanted to shit on him, and I'm like, dude, don't let your biases against someone's politics ruin something creative that he did. You were asking for it. You just like the tweet said, right? You're asking for it, but then you're going to go and shit on him because your feelings get hurt about the shit that he says.
Yeah.
And it's like, go fuck a duck. I mean, I'm sick and tired of hearing that crap.
Yeah, I know there's other indie comic creators out there, and we've reviewed some of the stuff, and it's not even the fact that it's not good, or you could say it's okay. It's just nothing super memorable that sticks out. But to be fair, it's a lot of entertainment you're gonna like consume in general. I would just say this: nobody's created something on a level like Star Wars or Batman or Superman or Spider-Man. I'm sorry, it's just what it is. Well, now, eventually, will you be able to? Probably, maybe at some point you will. But
we also here's the thing: we also don't know if it has happened because it doesn't have the history behind it.
That's true.
That's also. Because my oldest brother, he was alive whenever, Star Wars came out. There was things happening that nobody was doing. That was something no one was doing.
Yeah, at the time.
and it's very hard to do something now that no one has done
Yeah, because we're in
before.
2025. Yeah.
Especially when you're in the typed and drawn medium. They're going to have to either change, even like when Alex Ross was doing his stuff. Nobody had seen that. Nobody had seen what Alex
that
Ross
level
was
of
doing.
like, I'll say
Detail and
that
realism.
detail of artwork. Yep. Yeah.
So like things like Kingdom Come, and I want to get that documentary. I hope it looks awesome. But things like that, they were transcendent. Now the only way that you can really be transcendent is writing. You have to do something in the writing with these characters that still is true to the character, but takes them in a different direction. That's the only thing you can do. Because if you're going to create new characters, right, you're going to have to wait a while. No character is going to hit like, oh, I love this so great off the bat. There will be people that will, but
even
the overall
other indie comic book even other publishers that you do not know, like a name like Dynamite Entertainment or fucking we say Image Comics, which should be known to
like
a lot of people.
Boom,
They have a lot of property,
stuff
right?
like that.
They have. People have to understand. There's a reason why Boom and IDW are paying for name property stuff, because they know it'll get them sales of some level of kind, because that name has value. A lot of indie creators have to understand this. It's not just you need to make your stories better. Your character itself has to stand out on some way, because the writing itself is fairly average at best. I'll be honest here. Zeb Wells could write better than most of you guys, I'm being honest here. He's not, obviously his Spider-Man storytelling is very not liked. I'll surely give you that if you want to agree with that point. But as far as like actually being able to tell a cohesive, flowing stories where these guys kind of separate from you,
the narrative doesn't change.
Mark Waid can still do it.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hickman can still do it. Chuck, I just read Horseman, Welcome to Forest Park. That's by Chuck Dixon. Well, he's and people say he's an industry vet. Yeah, but he's honed in his style to the point where now everyone likes his style. A lot of people, I would say, even just because because I would say for any comic books, you're going to pay for good art. Art is what's going to sell the book. Writing techniques need to improve, because if I went up to let's say I was a salesman and you and your wife were at a Walmart and I'm outside on a table and I'm selling you my book, would you feel comfortable someone grabbing that book and they read it? Did you put your best foot forward in? Because, when someone says, go recommend different stuff. Well, first of all, what are you talking about as far as movies or books? Because most of the stuff is insanely amateur, and I wouldn't recommend stuff to anybody, really, if I'm being honest here.
Movies have been shit for a while. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says.
Movies have been not good,
When my wife will she's
mine's
the person who likes to,
man. Why you gotta make me feel like
she's someone that she likes to turn off her brain and watch a movie, right?
She likes Michael Bay movies, then hell yeah.
Whatever. not really. Even now, she's just like, I don't like anything. She's like, it's all just the same. It's all stupid. You can't just sit down and watch a popcorn flick. The last good movie I saw was The Wild Robot.
I heard good things about that one.
It was fantastic. It reminded me of like an 80s like family movie. The premise was cool.
Well, but right there, it shows you they can do good movies. They're just choosing not to. If they really tried, they can create some good entertainment. I know they can. I just watched Sonic 3. I know they can create good shit.
My son loved it. My son and wife loved it.
Did you watch Deadpool Wolverine?
Yes.
Another movie a lot of people enjoyed.
So yes, and I personally had no problem with the movie. I went and saw it by myself, and the only thing that I just don't like is Ryan Reynolds. He seems like he's like a one-note guy, because outside of his Deadpool, he's still that same guy no matter where he is.
It can only work in certain movies. Like I think Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, it worked fine, because that being that kind of weird white guy with daddy issues as a nerd can kind of work. But if you see him in a movie like Red Notice, if people watch Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot, that was terrible. That was
I didn't see that one.
Booty hole ass. Like too much of his personality would kind of not be that good. But he's insanely popular, and his personality does go from people.
Yeah, and it works for Deadpool. Like it does, and it works for that iteration. Because I think the first one was it was different. It was rated on. You got to see like who wants to like the old X-Men movies. As much as people are nostalgic for them, who the fuck wants to watch Wolverine? It's like he has claws. He's got to kill people. He's got to stab stuff. He's got to. I hate.
I'll be honest, man. I never understood what people had scene in those movies where they were like, this is better than the MCU. It's like, I understand some of them are. I will say this. The very first one of its kind, the first one, the first 2001, it's solid. It's nothing revolutionary. It's solid.
But to me, even then, it's like Wolverine, instead of like stabbing the person right in the face, he's going to cut down the rope, then the chandelier falls on him, and they're like, oh!
We'll say
like,
X2 was an improvement.
He cuts off a head in X2.
X2, to me, an improvement there. X3, Last Stand is not good.
No.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Good. Well, that was
bad. What was the Days of Future Past? Even though it wasn't like the comic, the premise was like the comic.
First Class and Days of Future Past.
I thought those were good. I thought they were cool.
But then you get Apocalypse, and you're like, maybe I should get a rope.
It's like the most miscast. Right after I saw that Dark Phoenix or whatever, that was awful.
I'll be honest with you, man. I never got to that. After I watched Apocalypse, I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Apocalypse is so bad.
It's just garbage. Yeah, it's
so
terrible. I never saw the first Deadpool movie. I did see the Deadpool 2. I did see obviously the recent one. But like those movies, people just I don't know what people are remembering. Those movies were all over the place as far as like narrative storytelling.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's crazy how people criticize Tom Holland for only needing Iron Man. In the X-Men movies, those Fox ones we're talking about, all they relied on was Wolverine. If we're being 100%. And Professor X and Magneto, that's it.
100%.
God, man, gotta hate revisionist history. So stupid, but
it is. But because no one looks at Patrick Stewart. Yes, you look at him and you're like, that's Professor X. You look at him and you think that. You think that. But like Cyclops, who the fuck was
terrible.
That guy?
James Marsden Cyclops was terrible.
Who the fuck was that guy? Like
Halle Berry Storm,
Cyclops.
horrible. Famke Jensen's Phoenix, dog shit. Kelsey Grammer, Beast. Oh, it was okay.
It was, you know what? It was only okay because Beast is supposed to be an intellectual, and that was in your mind already because that guy played Frasier.
Yeah. Nicholas Hoult, when you got him as Beast, overall a little bit stronger, I would say. Who else is in there?
It seemed more like the original Beast, like in the original.
Oh my God. That's what it seemed Anna Paquin. Anna Paquin's Rogue. Come on, guys. What are we doing here? Anna Paquin as Rogue. Get the fuck out of here. It was terrible.
God, dude, that was so bad.
That was not
Bobby.
Good.
Oh, hey, Bobby. Like, shut up. Shut up and touch yourself so you die.
Kitty Pryde, just all disrespected. Fucking
totally.
hell.
You get Good one Lord. Scene.
So many
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
The thing is, so many bastardizations of those characters in those movies. All they focused was why every movie it felt like their main villain was Stryker. People know anything about X-Men. I don't know too much about X-Men as far as like movies and television, but from the little bit of comic knowledge that I know about X-Men, which is still a lot, Stryker's not a big villain for them. Yet he was a big villain for like everything.
It's funny to me that they always talk about grabbing the casual fan, right?
Yeah.
But then they never give you the casual villain that everybody knows.
Yes. Yes. Stryker was a villain in X2. He was a villain in Origins Wolverine. He was in Logan. I remember Logan. That was good.
Logan was good. I thought it was all right.
I don't get the love that it gets, but it's all bad. It's a good movie. I wouldn't call it the best super movie ever made.
No. The only reason
people actually call it the best super movie ever made. That's
because
crazy.
You got to see Wolverine the way that you wanted to see him, killing people.
Oh God!
Rated
R. The Samurai one, where they butchered the story, where he went over to Japan. Oh, it was terrible.
Oh. And the guy wanted to steal his healing factor and blah, all that. Yeah,
that's the same one. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was not good.
They were like, this is an improvement over X-Men's Origins Wolverine. Yeah, if you
but an improvement over diarrhea is solid shit. It doesn't mean that it's not shit. Like, I don't have diarrhea today. Oh well, you're still gonna take a shit.
God. Hey, it's like getting diagnosed with leukemia or fucking AIDS. Oh, fuck it. Guess I'll take AIDS. It's like, no, it's not good. What the fuck? Those movies are looked at, given how the MCU has progressed into shit territory. At this point now, people are going to look back on the movie and go, well, they weren't that bad. Go back and rewatch them shit. Tell me X-Men Origins Wolverine was a good superhero movie. You can't, because that movie is horrible.
No,
there's a part in that movie where the girl dies because Sabretooth kills her. Wolverine sees her bloodied. And then people know Wolverine has a heightened sense of smell. Yes. He can detect that it was fake blood. Are you serious? He was like, I faked my death. How would he? He would clearly know she was faking her death. He would clearly know.
All you have to say about X-Men Origins, they had the mouth with the merc and they covered his mouth. The Merc with
And
the
Will I
mouth.
Am.
Sorry,
Will
the
I
Merc
Am.
with the mouth, and
Good
then
Lord.
you covered it.
All right, guys. Enough shitting on the Fox X-Men universe. I could shit on those movies all day.
Let's
But
go.
I do love me some Days of Future Past. That was really good. That was their last. That was their last peak movie. Because after that, Bryan Singer blew his load and he had nothing left. Honestly, why does it always happen for superhero movies too? First,
I think it's honestly, I think it's guys don't want to make them anymore, the directors, but it makes up so much.
I was saying, like, look back in the history of it. Like
The second Joker movie.
Yeah.
Like that guy said, I didn't plan on making another one. They fucking backed up the Brinks truck with a whole shit ton of money. And he was like, okay, so what are we going to make it? We're going to make it a freaking musical and we're going to do this and this. What's it called? Oh, it's called Folly Ado. Like what?
Well, this is something that I was thinking about at work today before I went home. This is always a circular thing when it comes to superhero movies, even from the past. Like, I've never seen the Blade movies, but people say the first two are the best ones, and the third one just is worse.
Yeah, the
Spider-Man movies have that. Tobey's first two movies really good. Third one falls off. X-Men First Class trilogy, first two are great. Third one falls off. The Dark Knight trilogy, first two are good. Third one falls off.
You know what they all have in common, though?
Every time.
You know what they all have in common, though? Every single one of them, the studio gets involved in the.
You're right. That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Because I could tell you right now,
Spider-Man 3, we knew they got involved. Yeah,
100%. Same with the Dark Knight, because that was filmed in Pittsburgh. I have tons of pictures. I actually, with the scene where they were fighting in the snow, was filmed in Pittsburgh. I was down there whenever they were filming it, and the snow they were using was like this cotton stuff, and I was picking it up, and there was all these Tumbler Batmobiles parked in the alleyways, and I was messing with them, dude. I was like walking on. I was doing all sorts of stuff when they were filming. It was pretty cool.
It was so weird to see how many superhero movies would peak at the original Superman movies. First two are, you could say, good.
Yeah.
Third one.
I think the first one's good. The second one, everybody talks about the Donner cut being this amazing. It's unfinished as hell. It's better than the original second one, but
it's crazy. People always show me for this as a hot take. I didn't like any of the original Batman 89 movies, really. Just didn't care for them. Neither Tim Burton one or the Joel Schumacher ones.
I liked the first one, but I was like young. I was like 9.
Yeah.
You know
Jack Nicholson was a great Joker. I'll give him Tim Burton this. He knew how to create good villains. Jack Nicholson's Joker.
He knew how to create a good universe too. Like it looked, it felt like the city felt like Gotham.
I never got the love that 89 Batman got. I was like, I actually rewatched 89. It holds up okay, but not the second one. Second one holds up like absolute shit.
Batman Returns.
So bad.
It's Danny DeVito's I thought he was great.
He's great. He is good, yeah. But God, man, Michelle Pfeiffer.
I would much rather see Danny DeVito as Frank Reynolds in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Tell someone, go rewatch Batman Forever. Rewatch that shit. I did. That shit is bad. That shit is really bad. Good. It's the only reason why it's worse because Batman and Robin is just way worse. I had to just turn it off. I was like, I'm not rewatching. This is terrible.
Batman and Robin is like campy to the campiest degree. And there's people that will be like, I just like it because it's so stupid. It's just so dumb. And I'm like, no, you like it because you like it. Don't make excuses. You like it because you like it. There's nothing wrong with you liking stupid things, but don't tell me you like it because it's stupid.
That's why I was like, man, I can understand why they canceled Batman for about a good 10 years. That was your standard.
After Batman and Robin? Yeah.
Literally, and Batman Mask of the Phantasm is better than any of those 4 movies I just said. It's not even close.
I was one of the few people, like I said, like I told you before, like my dad, that was one of the few things we were allowed to do. And we went and saw the Mask of the Phantasm in the theater. It was awesome. I loved it.
Okay, now I know white people are retarded.
Well, I am missing some brain cells.
Oh no, someone sent me this reel because I know I like watching stuff on Facebook sometimes to pass the time. Why would any person, there's a tiger shark, you know how big the motherfuckers are, those are huge fishes, walked up, put his face next to it, just his bare face, and was surprised it attacked him. Well, at that point, I agree with the shark. Fuck you.
Yeah, if you're in the shark's domain.
Not just his domain. It's all to his face. He put his bare face in front of. Of course, he's gonna. What the hell? I agree with the shark.
I mean, it's a shark. What did you expect it to do? Ask you for your phone number? Like,
hell yeah. Expect you to start breakdancing in the ocean.
Hey, shark, how you doing?
Common MSKL. The hell? Massive Phantasm beats out all those movies. It's not
Love
even
Massive
close, really.
Phantasm. Yep.
I rewatched it recently. It's so good. It just holds up so
Dude,
well.
the music is so freaking phenomenal. Just that whole intro is so fun.
Or even Under the Red Hood. I rewatched it about a year ago. Holds up. It's a completely perfect movie in my opinion.
You know, it's cool. They actually put out where is it? They put out Under the Red Hood and the Superman Doomsday, the old DC movies. They actually put them in hardbound books, and it was pretty cool. And you got the DVD and the book. So you got Under the Hood and the Under the Red Hood movie. It's kind of cool.
All right. Let's have some fun here because people have been asking me for what I thought about the Ultimate Invasion book. So there will be some context I'll have to add here, guys, because there is a lot here. Let's just point it out like that. All right. So just let me know when you're ready and we can start.
I'm good to go.
Oh my God, a white guy on time? See, that's what I like. Black people are never on time. L, what did I do? Hey, you rewatch Batman Returns. You told me that shit's good. You guys, I hate you. Hate you with all my soul and passion. Now, I'm not a clout chaser.
You're allowed to have your own opinion. So,
yeah. Then again, people are just probably want to agree with that. I was like, it's fine. It's all good. But I think we can all agree that Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer was horseshite.
I haven't seen a good Fantastic Four movie.
That's what I told people. They've not made a good one. Outside of, the only thing they did even remotely okay in those original two was the casting. That's still debatable.
I don't see, me personally, I don't even like it.
Yeah, I thought they were bad then. I was like, people, like the first one. You did? Because I think these movies even had fans. Red Silver Surfer, like, I didn't even botch watching that Fant Four Stick one. I was like, I didn't like the first two. That's why I hate the Fantastic Four. I like the Fantastic Four. I think they're awesome characters, but the movies have never did them good.
If they like the casting of this new movie is so bad too. Like, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. It just bothers me. It bothers me, and it's Marvel's first family. Like, why has nobody done this right? Why?
Oh man, Fantastic Four. I do have to get some book space from. I know people said to get the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee initial run. People said the Mark Waid run isn't all that bad, actually. I don't own anything from them. I should probably actually get something from them, honestly. Because I've only seen
the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee run is good for the context of it's the first.
Time. Yeah.
But if you're gonna read the stories, dude, there are literal stories that are they're so stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love Jack Kirby's art, right? Yeah. And you got to give it to Stan Lee. They created all this stuff.
Yeah.
They did all these things. But dude, like, I'm sorry. Some of the stories are so fucking stupid.
Yeah, man. If people go back and read like 60s era comics, I might be nostalgia for a lot of people, but some of those stories are insane. Like, not just weird. They're just like gimmicky to like the absolute degree. Like, you knew they dialed up the corniness to about not from 0. That shit is like 1,000 level of corniness. I remember there's a comic where Batman is like beating the Joker with a giant spatula. What the fuck? It's ridiculous. Yep. Wait. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne did voice Silver Surfer. Probably he was the only decent part of that fucking movie. Holy shit.
Yeah, I did not like that movie at all.
Good Lord. Damn, she's hot.
But the thing is, though, is like me personally, I don't care if someone likes stuff that I don't like. It makes it more interesting for me to talk to that person, because if everybody likes the same thing and has the same opinion on stuff, there's never any discourse to like be like, well, why did you like this? What did you think?
Some stuff is always universally agreed on. Like, obviously, Morbius is the best super movie of all time. It certainly made more $1 billion at the box office. Truly epic cinema on epic proportions.
Morbius. Like, I'll say this is a hot take that I personally don't really care about the Spider-Man 90s cartoon.
Man, people smoke crack and you shouldn't do that.
Smoking crack.
I would say that's one of the ones where it gets weaker with each season. I think season 1 is fantastic, but I think when they get into the arcs of, like, say season 2, it's like when the Mary Jane death comes in. It's
Mary Jane. No.
it falls off.
Oh,
So
God.
season 1 to me is good, but I think people only remember the stuff that's in season 1 because if you follow most, I think it's. I'll say it's. I would go Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, the Justice League ones, X-Men holds up decently well. Yeah, the Spider-Man one, I have to go and rewatch it. That's one I haven't.
I'm not saying it's
rewatched.
bad. I'm just I was reading Spider-Man a lot when that had come out, and it's just something I don't know. Like,
oh, the part that threw me off was like he said Mary Jane. Oh, how did he not know it was a water clone? He touches her. How would you
dude,
not know it's real? I've
like,
touched women before.
and
You can
then-
tell if they're real. You know,
like just how they shoehorned in like dude, the last season when they did their Secret Wars,
Secret Wars. Yeah, that was Secret Wars. Sure was.
and then Madam Web and the whole.
I would say at least she looked like Madam Web.
At least she was Madam Web. I'll give it that. Like, I'd have to rewatch it now, but like I remember when it was coming out, I did not care for it as much as I liked some of the other shows. Like I liked the Silver Surfer cartoon that came out in the 90s.
Okay.
That, and the reason why I did is it stuck, so it was like very much Silver Surfer. And now the voice acting was not great, and the animation was meh.
At least that would be Silver Surfer, not whatever fucking Marvel's gonna try and serve us up in that Fantastic Four movie coming out later on this year.
You don't want to see Miss Surfer?
I really don't.
I don't either.
And people said, "Oh, just wait. They're gonna cast the guy later on." I'm still waiting on that. That's what people told me. MSK, you're being a little too harsh. They'll cast the guy they'll show you the guy that's gonna play Norrin Rad. Really, they are. It's only been checks notes a year.
I mean,
Guys
it
got
is
in the
what it
movie.
is.
Good Lord, man. Stupid decision. There's no way to defend that. It's just a stupid decision.
And
Good Lord.
people would be like, "Well, it's in the comics," and I'm like,
Not only
well,
was-
yeah, but
Everyone had to look that up because none of us knew she existed. I had to. I'll be honest. I had to look her up. I didn't know she fucking existed.
there's a lot of things that are in comics, but you're skipping over years and years and years.
Yeah, there's a lot of
storytelling.
things in comics. There's also a lot of things in comics that people don't like. Various things people don't like. People just say that because they assume that everything in comics is just liked universally. It's like that couldn't be further from the truth. You know,
I mean, it's just that's just it's. I always wait and see for the movie, but I could still say I don't like the casting. But I will always go see the movie. I'll
always give it a fair shake.
Support it, and if I like it, I don't care if someone else doesn't like it. I will say I liked it. I have no problem saying that. So that's one thing I dislike when you could tell someone really likes something and they're just going along with what other people say. I dislike that tremendously.
All right, let's get into this. Ooh, time for and then we get to talk about the Summer of Superman event because that's just woo. That's all big thing to talk about.
This comic is very heady.
This is very big. So my wife loves it very big. She loves it. She loves taking it on the chin.
Very Hickman-y.
Oh, I forgot. Give me one. The artist in the book. I always mispronounce saying artist. The Brian Hitch. Yes. Brian Hitch. Okay. Fucking Yep. All right. I love choking on pussy. Wait a minute. That's not how that works.
No. So you're doing it wrong if you're choking.
So you're saying that girls don't blow their loads?
I mean, you know what? So, Ultimate Invasion.
Yeah, that. All right. Hey, everyone. I am MSK, a.k.a. Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way, you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a Ultimate Invasion butthole fucking. Okay. Whoa! Give me one reset. We're doing it.
Fuck. No, Optimus, no, please. Fuck. No, please. Please, Optimus. No, please. No, Optimus, please. Fuck.
All right. Sounds like my wife when we're having sex, honestly. All right. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Marvel Comics Ultimate Invasion trade paperback. So this is a book where I was butt fucking your mom. All right, one more. Give it to me straight, Lucy.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. No shit.
How can you make money with such a stupid idea?
I'm kidding. All right, I was joking. Third time's the charm. I promise. He's white. We're gonna get this guy on New White Street. That's gonna be a podcast. New White Street. Imagine New White Street with a black guy. That's crazy. Crazy. Okay, and we're joking around. We gotta get this done because the next topic is gonna blow my fucking butthole out. Honestly. Who messaged me on Twitter? Why do I get sex bots always messaging me? No, I don't want to see your hairy stank coochie. I'm good. Good God. Hey, WZ. We got this here. We were joking. It's called providing you quality entertainment. Ah, oh my God, now everyone's against me. Oh my God. So, hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback. So there is several things that I want to tell you guys before we actually go into reviewing the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback. So if you are going to buy this trade paperback, because this covers actually look very, very good, and it actually has this cool like wraparound feature. I'm kidding, all jokes aside. This trade paperback collects Ultimate Invasions issue 1 through 4, but Marvel actually did a follow-up one-shot comic book sequel tie-in to this book as well, and that is going to be the Ultimate Universe one-shot right here. Now, what I would say to do that is make sure you... Oh my God, wait a minute, my brain fried. Wow, my brain's fried.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
What the?
Do you hear a black guy outside?
No.
Oh, fuck. Okay, WC's clipping all this stuff. I had this motherfucker muted. Okay, okay, fourth time's the charm. I'm kidding, guy. Okay, I'll be serious now. He gets me. See, he understands my quality of joke because everyone expects me to mess up, so I mess up intentionally 4 times in a row to give him that give them their narratives. You know, I hope you're paying this man good money. I give everyone here a fat contract. What are you guys talking about? Everyone here makes good money, right? You can pay off your bills with the money you make here, because I can't. I give you guys everything and clout. Okay, I'll be serious from now on. We really gotta get stuff done. Because fucking hell, Superman's gonna butt fuck me later.
That's gonna be hard on your asshole.
Yeah, especially was on Lana Lang's in Smallville's. That's an inside joke. If you watch Smallville, know what that joke is, actually. All right, let's go here. I'm just gonna have a girl blow her load and then I will leave. No? Okay. We're serious. Right? No, we're not. Just fucking around here. It's just jokes, guys. It's all quality entertainment. All right. Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback. So there is several things I want to tell you guys before we actually start reviewing what is inside the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback. So if you get this, Ultimate Invasion collects Ultimate Invasions issues 1 through 4. Marvel released a one-shot Ultimate Invasion trade paperback tie-in comic book that is essentially should have been in here, but they didn't include it in here for some stupid reason because Marvel Comics is absolutely retarded. Like, why would a company reboot their Amazing Spider-Man line for a bump in #1 sales when the book is primarily always in the top 5 in ICV2 charts? One would never know because their company is just full of morons. So, yes, make sure to get this Ultimate Invasion one-shot after getting the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback because this is essentially the last and final issue for this event. I recommend buying it from your local comic book store to obviously support them or support a guy on eBay that's also selling the book as well. So for those of you guys who don't know, Marvel Comics had their Ultimate Universe. It started with Ultimate Spider-Man, which was written by Brian Michael Bendis, and the universe lasted for about a good 10 years actually. Then all of a sudden, because the sales completely tanked off a cliff, they essentially had Brian Michael Bendis end the universe. And around, let's say, 2023, Marvel Comics announced they wanted to bring back their Ultimate Universe, but not the Ultimate Universe that you guys remembered that was basically, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Thor, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Captain America, Iron Man, all that stuff. They want a new Ultimate Universe that would basically get a chance to do it a bunch of #1s of like Spider-Man, X-Men, Black Panther, and all that stuff, right? So Ultimate Invasion, 4-issue miniseries written by Jonathan Hickman with the art done by Brian Hitch. You have your Ultimate Universe one-shot comic tie-in after that. Then you got Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, and you had Ultimate X-Men announced. Later on, they ended up getting, the Ultimates, and later on after that, you are going to end up getting a few more characters, actually. So this book right here, I will just say this because people have been asking me my opinion about this. I bought this a while ago, and I was going to be obviously reviewing this stuff in order to get to Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Jonathan Hickman, oh my God, does this guy know how to write? And in certain ways that could definitely bore people. So it's not that I hated this. I just found it very boring, let's just say, outside of like certain interactions. There was certain character. I was just not invested in any of the characters here. If I'm being honest here, outside of like the Maker was kind of cool, and I thought Anthony Stark was kind of cool. But a lot of the characters here just felt very hollow, very just one-dimensional, couldn't really get invested into them. And there was some story stuff here. I was just going like, wow, what is Jonathan doing? Because not only in the book, there's just a lot of info dump in every page. Every page is an info dump. And then you start dealing with like time machines and different universes colliding and crossing over. Holy shit. I was reading this going like, damn, is this over? I'm not kidding you. I was reading this going like, Jonathan, buddy, can we tone down the dialogue? Can I see a punch be thrown? Please.
Well, I think for people that have read his Fantastic Four and his Avengers, they would probably have a very opposite opinion of that. It's he pays off a lot of things for if you've read his stuff. Like if you've started with him from Shield, you can go to Shield to Fantastic Four, to his Avengers, to Secret Wars, even on to X-Men, where there was some properties, but X-Men was kind of a fresh start. But a lot of this stuff that's in here that he was already had been set up long time ago, like long period of time ago. And I could see if you have never read his stuff, possibly being overwhelmed. And there's just a lot of information there.
I did read Ultimate Spider-Man issue 1. So I did. So I knew he was going to be taking his time setting up because I know a lot of people say that he takes time to set everything up. There is. There's a lot of setup here. Like the setup itself is not bad. It's just like I'm just not connected to any of these characters he tried to put out,
And I can understand that because he already has narratives in place for all of them. So if you don't know, like I said, his older stuff, it might not mean as much to you. And I can understand that. Like I can get that. For me,
what was your favorite issue of this? Because my favorite one was issue 1 and 4.
I see when I read it straight through. I just kept going. So I don't have a singular favorite issue. I when I read Hickman, I do the same thing. Like when I got his stuff, like I have all his Fantastic Four, Avengers, all that stuff. I will get everything and then I will read it straight through.
That's the
take
best way
like
to read stuff.
I'll take 2 days and I'll read all his stuff because
Mhm.
I like his stuff, and he's just to me, he's so good at world building to
Mhm.
where I'm very infatuated with the way he said when I know I'm reading a Hickman comic, like just little things that he does. And the Maker was always a character that I thought was one of the best variants of anybody out there, like with Maestro Hulk, things like that. I always thought the Maker, it would be like, what would a really awful Reed Richards look like? You know, because if you read Hickman, he has a very big fascination with the Fantastic Four and
I can
Reed
tell.
Richards himself. Like Reed Richards is his main guy. And I wanted to see what type of universe he was going to build with this.
Yeah.
And looking at the comic from Ultimate Spider-Man point of view, I very much like this place where he said he was going to go back home because the Maker and Miles Morales were one of the two. I can't remember. I think there was other ones though that they brought over, but in this they said those were the only two that came from his universe.
Yes.
So to me, it was very interesting to see all of the other characters that were variants of the people that we interact with and how they would be displaced in his writing. I thought that was very interesting.
Also, because they have Miles Morales on the cover, you don't, guys, he is in the book for like a page because he goes off and he is in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars event, which they do advertise at the end of the book. Because Jonathan Hickman, you know, has been writing for Marvel for a very, very long time. They essentially kind of made him the pseudo, like, Scott Snyder of the Ultimate Universe kind of for a little bit. And like recently with Jonathan Hickman, they've had this guy on Wolverine Revenge. He's doing Aliens versus X-Men. He was doing his God series at this moment in time. Remember, they were charging $10 for that book at the time. Gods, number one. Remember that, guys? That debacle. You have him on fucking hell. You had him on this. You had him building up the Ultimate Universe itself. It's been running this guy ragged for the most part.
I liked Gods.
I haven't read Gods. Can't speak on it, but I remember him being on Gods and all the other books. Fucking hell. And now all of this stuff is just getting delayed. Not say his writing's like deterred or anything, but this guy, you can tell a deadline. He needs to have an extended deadline to get his stuff done. I can see why
he just needs to not be on so many things. I think what happened was they realized how bad they messed up with X-Men. His X-Men he took the X-Men from being basically obscure again to being the top of their game when he created like the whole Krakoa storyline. He is very good at bringing characters that you don't see every day and making them something. And he made that up, and he does things in 3-act structures. And when he wanted to move on to Act 2, Marvel saw those dollar signs coming from the Krakoa era, and they were like, no, we are not moving on. And he said, okay, bye. Yep. I'm done with this then. And it ended with the Inferno book. And I think they realized their mistake. So they're like, write what you want to write for this.
Because unlike some other people, I could understand why some of his books have been delayed over the years, because he's someone where he tries to set up so much shit. It's like he can't be doing 3 issues at once. There's no way, 2 maybe max. So the other thing in here that I was like sitting there going like, this is the reason why time travel or jumping between universes gets to be a little tricky, is because at a single point in this book, because we'll go over the story in a little bit here, the Maker brings Anthony Stark in to fix this machine he's working on that he wants to have. And then Reed Richards is there. But then Anthony Stark pulls the fast one over the Maker. But then you're thinking to yourself, like, well, how did he not see that coming, though? That could, because he put him there. He would have to know that he wasn't going to do this, It's like there's just a bunch of weird things that were happening. I was like, did I miss a page? Because I was like, that doesn't make any sense at all. I was like, oh, okay. So some of the splash page battles where they were having them converge on Latveria was pretty cool, I'll say. There was just certain things I was like, okay, Hickman's hitting the crack pipe. There you go. This man's just hitting it hard. So let's get right into it. All right, Ultimate Invasion starts here. So I'll say this though. You have the trade. Look at that. Nice wraparound cover. Looks beautiful. Honestly, I'll say that. Brian Hitch's art does shine throughout the book. So start the book off. There's a heist going on. These let's say bank robbers,
hired goons,
hired mercenaries. Yeah. These hired mercenaries end up getting into this place and breaking out the Maker. So the Maker is essentially, as it says in the back of the book, one of the last survivors of the original Ultimate Universe. The Maker plans to ensure the Earth's mightiest heroes never become heroes at all. And he explains that later on in the book at some point. And then he can reshape a defenseless universe into exactly what he wants it to be. Timeless and dimensionless collide, and at the end of it all, the world outside your window will be forever changed. So, and later on in this, it says like Miles Morales, guys, is not a part of this. Man is literally like in one page. Fuck Marvel for that false advertising.
You know what, though? I'm glad. I can't stand Miles Morales.
I can't. Why even have him in here?
They shouldn't have.
Does nothing. He's like, oh, hi, Maker. Your world's going to be destroyed. Okay, cool. I'll go back to that.
He's like, hey, you want to come with me? Because, you know, you were a survivor. I'd like someone to offer me that. So, you know, and he's like, nah, I'm good. That was it. But what's interesting about them breaking him out, they go in there and basically the Maker had picked these specific people. These very specific people. He was tracking their genetics, and he basically pulls a fast one on them because they're promised. He's like, you know, anything that I say that I have, I have. And basically what he does to them is he creates a clone of himself, like a replica clone down to the DNA through these people. And it was fantastic. I thought when he splattered them, it was great. It was good. And he leaves there with a drooling Maker because one of them didn't show up and they had to get another guy at last second notice.
And that's where you see it right here as it goes. So that's actually essentially the prologue, which the prologue was pretty cool. I enjoyed the setup of the Maker as a person that didn't really know who this guy was essentially before. So Wynn gets out that the Maker has come back. He escaped the previous Ultimate Universe that was set up by Brian Michael Bendis before, and say the Illuminati. Not the real Illuminati that people think exists. Illuminati in the Marvel comic universe, which is like Tony Stark, it's Black Bolt, Doctor Strange, Black Panther. Usually is the roster essentially.
Yeah, Professor X.
Yeah,
Professor X, Black Bolt, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Reed Richards, Black Panther, and Namor.
So not Captain Marvel? I'm kidding, guys. I'm joking.
No. sometimes. So like sometimes Captain America will come in to just foil their plans.
Oh God.
Or he'll work with them sometimes. But you know, Captain America at heart is kind of like a dolt, you know, kind of like a meathead type guy.
So the Illuminati get word the Maker's out, and they try to formulate a plan to kind of find out where he's at. But then later on, when they're having a meeting, Black Panther basically says, like, well, he's going to kind of show up. Basically, Black Panther says when he wants to reveal himself, he will. And that's true. He eventually does reveal himself later on, and they try to end up converging to fight him. Now, before that, really quickly, you got the Miles Morales little tie-in that doesn't mean anything, which is stupid.
Let's set up a few things, though. Maker takes a few things that are very, very interesting that I thought. He took one of the bridges that was huge in Hickman's Fantastic Four. And if you understand the bridge and what it can do, the time travel might not be as confusing for people. The bridge can open up to anything, anywhere, any dimension, anytime. And what else is cool is he took one of the gates from what they were doing in the Krakoa era that the mutants were doing. They were setting open these gates that could go anywhere. You step through, you could be on the moon. You could be here. And it was only supposed to allow mutants through them. So somehow he was able to fuck with it and get one because they even set that up tremendously to where people could not do that. He also took a crap load of vibranium from Wakanda, which is insane. Because if you know anything,
the Black Man? That's
crazy. If you know anything though about even Wakanda, like one does not walk into Wakanda and walk out. It usually does not happen. And the weirdest one that he took is he took 4 Terrigen spheres from the freaking Inhumans.
Yes.
I just cannot stand the Inhumans. I
don't think anyone
don't
likes those.
like them.
Yep.
But those are the things that he took. So obviously he's creating something, and he's using the bridge and the Krakoan gate to teleport something.
Yeah, and that's going to be very important because that is going to allow all of this multiversal travel he's able to do throughout the book. Like I said earlier, he makes himself revealed. They converge on him. And what's crazy is, I think, to me personally, at the end of this first issue, because this is what the first issue goes off, this was the best line of dialogue in the entire book, where the Maker, who is a version of Reed Richards, says, if you could take me away and do everything different, would you do it? And he says, the real one said, yeah. He was like, I'll keep that in mind. Right here, it was that to me was the best line of dialogue in the entire book. I was like, wow, that is just super impactful, because it's like the one that's not Reed Richards.
He's like, would you erase me from existence?
Yeah, that was powerful.
Like, if you could do everything again and you could erase me from existence, would you? Because he had a chance to.
Yeah.
He had a chance to do it, and he didn't do it. And he's like, would you? And he's like, yes. He's like, I'll keep that in mind.
So after this, what the heck? Oh, sorry. Vin Diesel was outside. So the Maker leaves. And from this point on, you're not actually on Earth 616 anymore. You're actually going to be, oh, Lord, in points where the Maker is trying to essentially stop heroes from being heroes. So I actually read Ultimate Spider-Man #1. If you don't remember, it's on the Iron Man podcast when me and James reviewed it. So that kind of plays in here. So he essentially wanted to go back in time to various points in time and stop heroes from becoming heroes. So like in this part of the book, he stops the Spider from biting Peter. So who would that be? That would be Spider-Man. So obviously in Ultimate Spider-Man #1, since we know what happens in that first issue, he hadn't been bit by the spider yet. And that goes for various heroes. So the one earlier you talked about with Vibranium and Wakanda, well, that would play into Ultimate Black Panther #1. You talked about the X-Men stuff. That would play into the X-Men part of the universe that later on we're going to talk about later on. So all of that is set up there. I for the life of me, I'll never understand why we get the Miles Morales variants for a character that only appeared in like 2 pages, but it's whatever, Marvel. It's okay. I know you got to push Miles Morales as your DEI Black Spider-Man. Holy fuck. So Thor has a cameo here.
Well, I think they're setting up to like show you that even though he makes this other place and he's trying to stop those people, there are certain things that he cannot stop. Like there's going to be a Thor. There's going to be those places. And I'm wondering, the biggest thing that I'm wondering is if it's like that, is there going to be Celestials? Is there going to be a Galactus?
Yeah.
Going to be those things that the Fantastic Four, the Maker,
because it shows you all that. Yeah. It shows you Thor, Fantastic Four's origin. I think I'm pretty sure it's Bruce Banner over there.
Yeah, and I think the Fantastic Four die.
And then you also have Anthony Stark and Obadiah Stane. So people are probably like, you mean Tony Stark? No. So when you leave Earth 616, Anthony Stark is the Iron Man, basically the main character of the book at this point. Essentially, you consider the main character. Essentially, if you consider the Maker, the main hero and the villain, because essentially he makes this universe. So I guess you could kind of have that as a discussion if you want to. But Anthony Stark is the main hero at this point. Obadiah Stane is race swapped. He's not white. I couldn't give 2 shits about Obadiah Stane. I was like, okay. When he died, I was like, all right, cool, I guess.
It's what it is. So they show the Fantastic Four not getting their powers. They show Bruce Banner not getting his powers. They show a lot of these things. And one of the biggest things that they show is that Captain America was never trapped in ice. So there was no super soldier serum in this universe.
So that's what the Maker wants to do. He wants to make sure nobody becomes a superhero, because obviously if you have more of them in the multiverse, they would foil your plans. So after that, Anthony Stark pretty much takes over as the main character of the book.
And I like how they have these two. Like that's why I love that. Hickman's very good at these. He did this a lot in his X-Men books, where he was creating the Krakoan language, and he would have these little ciphers that you would have to like decode and stuff, but he has like who's alive, who's dead, and he has like Howard Stark, who's his dad, and he's being controlled supposedly. So that's very interesting that he thinks that the Iron Man from this universe is being controlled. And you see that Susan Storm and Ben Grimm and the Fantastic Four, basically it says deceased. So they died in that accident. And they also have Hank Pym is inactive, and they have Bruce Banner as controlled. Peter Parker is inactive. And the craziest ones, in my opinion, are Thor Odinson is captive and Stephen Strange is captive.
So, because later on, Hulk is this Bruce Banner Hulk is revealed to be kind of like in the secret society that he kind of puts together. I think that's what he means by controlled.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like it's they're in that society thing, and it says because it has like where the artifact comes from, and it has like the Stain Stark D-base, Reed Richards, you know, he has a dedicated library, has a blood sample of this, he has the Pym generator, he has a biological catalyst, which is the spider for Spider-Man, and he has the Eye of Agamotto, which is interesting also.
So now you get to the Anthony Stark portion of the book, basically just Tony Stark stuff, just with his dad, if we're being honest here. It's like whatever you think of Tony Stark, is basically they just gave him the dad personality. There's a line here from I don't know if it's supposed to be Pepper. She says, "It's a little much, isn't it, Mr. Stark? Hasn't the world had enough of playboy billionaires getting everything they want and deserving absolutely none of it?" What a cringe line. What a cringe thing to say to someone. I was like, that's the worst piece of dialogue in the book. Hell, holy shit.
And it's weird.
What an ungrateful bitch. You're a secretary. He's probably paying you more than whatever fucking secretary has a 9 to 5. You have the nerve to say that to him. Fuck that bitch.
It's just weird to see first it's like weird to see Howard Stark alive. Like it's just weird. Yeah. And it's weird to see him in an Iron Man suit. Like and then you got Tony who's just like, "Hey dad, how you doing?"
Yeah. So like Anthony Stark is like 50. I guess he looks like a 50-year-old man. While Tony is like 30 or 20.
No,
years old.
That's Howard Stark, not Anthony. That's
is it
Howard? Yeah, his name's Howard.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
my brain is fried. But you guys got my point.
Yeah.
So
is
essentially his Alfred, you would say. Like they try to.
Well, he kind of runs the business side of it. He goes to all the meetings and he goes. He's like the public. He's like he's like the guy that sits at the board meetings. Well, Howard's the guy that goes around and is seen as like, ooh, he's the hotshot guy, like kind of like how Bruce Wayne is, but without the women.
Yeah. So essentially, me.
Sure.
Oh God, they're on my side. So yes, how they try to set up Howard and Obadiah's relationship as this like really close thing. I'm gonna be honest here, didn't buy it at all. I did not care for Obadiah Stane's character. I was like, wow, isn't this guy just a fucking bore?
Well, I bought it that they were friends, but I didn't. I did not buy the whole like, I'm doing all this for us. Like I know that I didn't buy. I'm just like, I was waiting for it. I was like, so he's gonna die. That's gotta happen. Like, because
Howard
can't do that without it.
So essentially, Obadiah, as you just said right there, just all the invites for parties, basically just does all that dirty work you said. He gets invited to Latveria, which, as you guys know, is a lot of ties to Doctor Doom, obviously, in the past. So you see the ultimate version of Hulk. That just looks terrible, honestly. That just looks really bad. They go to this big giant party, obviously. And as you know, the Maker set up all of this because later on, he's revealed he kind of asked Howard Stark to be there. And then, as you know, since the Maker makes himself appear, the heroes know where he's at. All the heroes come to try to stop him. And keep in mind, these are heroes from a bunch of different universes. We know that because later on in the book, we know that there's different versions of these characters later on. So all the characters are about to get engaged in the battle. And then Obadiah Stane is like, well, steer clear. I got this. Then ends up getting killed in less than 20 minutes. I'm
Yeah,
not kidding.
He's like, Howard, did you bring your Iron Man suit? And he's like, no, you told me not to. And he's like, when do you ever listen? And he pulls out the War Machine. So it's like totally like, you know,
Holy
they
shit.
did the whole like, you still got Rhodey and you still got your Iron
So
Man.
stupid. Keep in mind, this guy's a literal billionaire who's apparently a genius. Why the fuck would he not have brought his suit? It makes absolutely zero sense. Like, Jonathan, brother, quit hitting that crack pipe. And then, as I said earlier, Obadiah's War Machine tries to fight. He ends up getting one, basically just killed in like less than 20 minutes. And Stark's, and obviously, explosion. Stark's knocked out for a little bit. And
I thought that made less sense than him not bringing his Iron Man suit. Why would you engage with these here that you have no instead of just getting Howard out of there?
Yeah, like he runs toward an explosion. He knows he doesn't have his suit. Like it's one of those things that Jonathan, he even did this in Aliens versus Avengers. You had a scene in that book that I talked about, if you guys watched my review of that, where you had a scene in there that only progressed the plot forward that made no sense at all. This scene right here, all this right here, is just to progress the plot forward. It makes literally zero sense at all. Absolutely just, oh my God, Jonathan, I know you hit the crack pipe there, buddy. Lay off crack, Jonathan. Oh my God.
I just didn't like the whole Howard Stark
it's just forced.
Obadiah thing.
It's forced.
I understood the other stuff. It was like, if you were going to kill him, then let them both go out. But if one of them doesn't have their suit and you're protecting a multi-billion-dollar company, you're not going to engage because you're not going to be able to take out all these heroes. So him out, pick up your buddy and fly him the fuck out of there.
Yeah, it's a similar thing that he had in the Aliens versus X-Men issue 1, where to progress the story, this had to have happened, but it makes no sense narrative-wise, made no sense story-wise. It was just, I don't know. I feel like at that point in the story, he just kind of felt like he had to make something big and actiony happen and kind of just draw an emotion out. I wasn't buying it. And then the Maker obviously kidnaps Howard, I guess. Kidnaps him, tells him of his plans. Then the heroes are all still there. They talk a little bit more, but it's revealed that he could just essentially, he's so powerful, he could just erase them. Now, it's also revealed pretty much that he caused them to do that so that Obadiah got killed, but it's like,
well, he knew it was going to happen. He knew knew that they were going to come down there, and he figured if all of them were there in this place, that he could use these people to further his plan, because there are things, he is the Maker, but there are things he does not know how to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the second Miles Morales Spider-Man movie, where it's kind of like one of those, they tell him these events have to happen in order for these things to progress. It's just a common thing heroes always go through. So after that, the Maker reveals his big machine called the Immortus engine, which essentially will allow you to time travel, which would be very, very important for someone like the Maker, because it would allow him to time travel at an exponential level compared to what he can do right now. Because, earlier in the review, you said he can only do it through this, but that's also limited in its capacity too. But in a time machine, it's unlimited, where you can go anywhere in the multiverse, but not just a time machine, forward and backwards in time. Because keep in mind, when you had the machine, you said earlier, you could just go to different Earths, right? This is one where you can go forward and backward in time.
You could go in different times, but you could go through different dimensions with the bridge. Yeah, it was like a thing into different dimensions. It wasn't a time machine.
Yeah. So after that, I thought this was one of the more better pieces of the art in the book, actually. He reveals there's a problem with the Maker. He's actually flawed and fractured. His memories get kind of jumbled and messed up. But that's also another plot hole, because if his memories are jumbled and messed up, then how does he know when certain things are going to happen? It's like,
because he experienced them already. If you remember, he talked about, he went over this hundreds of times, and that's why he's missing part of his, because the Maker, the reason why he went and had that weird helmet before is he extended his brain power, and his head grew to this weird shape, so he could know things and do things. And now it's basically from him doing all this and seeing, it's like if you looked into the creation of the universe, how much would you know? How much would you see? He's done that on unlimited scale. Like, so it fucked him up pretty good, basically.
You have the Obadiah Stane death scene. Oh, sorry, funeral, which, you know, I'll be honest here, didn't give one fuck for. I was like, okay, this is just useless emotion this guy's trying to gouge out of me. So after that, we get into the third act of the story where, you know, Howard Stark is with the society of the superheroes that were, you know, in the same group and corner as the Maker. Colossus, Hulk is here. I just don't care for any of these characters, guys. When they were talking, I was like, oh my God, hurry the fuck up. Just care for none of this. Absolutely just, okay. Just useless dialogue for me.
And the Maker has Howard there because he believes Howard was the one who actually created the Immortus engine.
Yes.
So that's why he has him there to fix the problem, because it's like, you made this, so eventually you're going to know what is wrong with it. Like, it's
there's
that
also
whole
a cool thing in the book where, like, they always pinpoint on the world where they're at. It's kind of cool stuff. Like earlier you said the cease files and all that stuff. That was actually pretty cool. And then the world right here, this name right here, as remade by the Maker, you had all the stuff that he had done, you know. So we get into, like, essentially, say, the fourth act of the story where Howard talks to Tony about, okay, what are you going to do with this guy? And he kind of says, hey, we're going to have to basically get this job done, or we got to take this guy out. And he kind of gives, it's like that part of the story where you go and, like, okay, the main character is giving this other side character a contingency plan. You can kind of tell that's what's happening there. So Howard ends up going with the Maker, and the Maker basically puts him into this weird dimension room that's void of, like, time and everything right here. And then you have another Reed Richards appear. This looks really cool. I will say that looks really cool. The helmet looks awesome. Reminds me of something from, like, the Collector movies, actually, where that villain was wearing that freaky looking mask and shit.
It looks like Dr. Doom.
Yeah, looks great. Yeah, it looks awesome. So
I'm wondering if that is there is a variant of Reed Richards that kills Doom, and he becomes basically Dr. Doom.
Also, you have in the far future, heroes are basically trying to see what they can do as far as the Maker. Then just randomly, because Jonathan Hickman just does fan service weird, now you just have Kang the Conqueror there.
No, that does make sense. That does make sense. So basically, there's this thing where Hickman did this thing where the interdimensional Reed Richards, right, in his run of Fantastic Four, he found this thing. Reed found this thing, and he went in there and he saw all these other Reeds.
Yeah.
Right? And he had the Council of Reeds. And there's also this thing called the Council of Kangs. And Kangs?
We was Kangs?
Oh, God. So anyway, we was Kangs. So the Kang being there would totally make sense because he is the one that rules time and space, and he would not want the Maker to have anything to do with this. So it does make sense that Kang is the one behind getting all of these interdimensional heroes together.
Yeah. And you have more dialogue between Reed Richards and Howard Stark. Basically, he asked him, like, do you have any semblance of how long you've been in here? He's like, well, I've kind of just lost all the semblance of time since I've been in here. I was like, okay. So this Maker guy just put him here and just basically just torturing him, essentially. So the weird part later on, as you get in the book, is I just don't understand. If Howard was going to pull this against the Maker, how would he not know that he was doing that?
Because he doesn't know how to make the Immortus engine. That was the one piece that he did not know. That's why he needed that Howard Stark.
Yeah.
Because Howard Stark, if you remember, usually always dies.
True. And
so he needed that Howard Stark to, basically fix the Immortus engine, get this working.
So after that, Howard and this Reed Richards form a plan, basically secretly. You can tell they were forming a plan secretly to take out the Maker. Howard Stark starts suiting up. And then after that, you have more talk about, okay, we're going to do this plan this way. Then the Kang character with his selection of superheroes pop up, because anytime the Maker's around, you can tell there's just a giant burst of heroes that is going to start coming out to face him. So another big battle toward the end of the book. And
I thought this battle was cool.
This one was actually cool. I liked this one. This one was fine.
Because he has there's so many things that, like I say, I would read his Fantastic Four run, the Hickman one. It's phenomenal.
This part where Kang and Maker's going at it was pretty cool.
Yes. And he also had, if you're working on something for so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Maker's checking up on you, whatever, you would have he's so arrogant that he doesn't think, he thinks you're so fucked because there's a reason why he put Howard in there with Reed, because Reed is the smartest man in the world. And he's going to know, oh, if he's stuck here, fuck, what am I, shit, I'm kind of screwed. How am I going to do this?
So you have the battle, it ensues on. I would say the battle between Kang and the Maker was really cool. And then it gets to the point where Howard activates the Immortus engine damper off critical breach imminent, where essentially he put what they were working on. He essentially put a bomb inside of his suit to go off to make sure that it would take out the Maker. That's how I interpret it. Maybe I was wrong. But then he gave Reed Richards something else as far as information to do with his son later on, because he knew that this was going to be a suicide mission if he wanted to take out everyone, So after that, Reed Richards goes and, finds Tony. This society figures out what ended up happening with that big battle. You had 1 week later, more character interaction where Hulk and one weird British guy was talking. I was like, all right, can we never have these characters ever again? Please. I was like, man, I hate these characters. They're so fucking useless. What is they doing? Holy shit. It's Moon Knight. Okay, it's Khonshu of Ra. Awesome, cool. You guys gonna fight? There's Hulk in the story. Hulk's not gonna go out there and fight. Holy crap!
Well, he did once. Remember, this one doesn't like violence.
Oh no!
He's like the Buddhist Hulk.
So the Reed Richards that Tony's father was working with and knows the contingency plans tells Tony these contingency plans. Then Tony ends up building his own suit. Now he's not Iron Man. He says, "Call me Iron Lad." Okay, yes, this is Iron Lad. So now they have the Ultimates somewhat form, and then you have the epilogue where they go into this part of the world where later on it's revealed to the end of the book. There's more of them here. Now you have Captain America. That's right there.
And I think that's the contingency plan, was the seeding of starting the superheroes, the real superheroes.
And that's it, guys. The book ends with a bunch of, variant covers you probably get if you read. So, fucking hell. So after we get the reveal of Captain America, you have these second everyone. Get these Miles Morales variants and all sort of shit. Really cool. I like this one a lot. This one looked really, really cool to me. This one looked pretty awesome to me, honestly. But yeah, and then they say hey, go get Marvel and your ads. Go get Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but
I love that one.
Good Lord, please tell me it's better than this. Good Lord. So
I like this. I thought it was a good. It might have been heady, but dude, he's setting up a whole.
He's setting up a whole. Oh my god!
A whole ultimate universe. He's setting up the whole thing to where all these superheroes have to have. They had to set up the Maker being the main bad guy. They had to set up how the universe is going to work, how these people are going to work inside this universe, and how are they going to get from where there was no Captain America, now there is. How are they going to get Peter Parker to be Spider-Man? How are they going to do all of these things? I thought it was well done. Was it heady as hell? Yes, 100%. But that's what you get with Hickman. It's very heady. And there's sometimes where you're reading stuff and you're just like, I don't understand what I'm reading.
Yeah, that was my problem. Was info dumping was just insane. I just couldn't get interested in any of the characters. I felt like I was just slogging through when I was I was reading, I felt like I was just slogging through it. I feel like the first issue is great. When the setup of what he wants Howard to do, I feel like that's when it starts getting a lot more interesting. But I was like, man, I just find this just okay, meh to boring for me. Would I ever read this again? Probably not.
I'll say this though: when you start reading the Ultimate Comics, it's gonna be like, wow, that really paid off. I will say that. Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's essentially like your wife being like, okay, I'll give you a threesome, but you have to bang me out first. Really good.
I guess. If that's the analogy you want to use, sure. If that's it, I would say it's more akin to
this is like what Force Awakens, I would say maybe. There's a lot of setup here.
I liked it better than you did. I'll say that.
Oh God, I'm not. Okay, so I would say this: if you like Jonathan Hickman and you're a fan of this style of writing, you're probably gonna really enjoy it. Someone like me, too many issues. I thought it was an okay read. It's a meh read for me. There's a lot of boring parts in it for me. A lot of dialogue heavy, but there are some great moments here. There's a lot of good moments here. I will not deny that. So, anything else you want to say before we
I will say this. I thought that the DC All-In #1 did a better job of setting up the Absolute Universe and what it was going for than this did, because if you haven't read the other Hickman stuff, you don't know like big things are coming. You're like, oh, this is localized. They're setting up a universe. Right. Okay, whatever. I can say that for sure. 100%.
As you guys know, for me, make sure after you read these 4 issues, or
you have to read that. Yes.
Yeah. The Ultimate Universe one shot. I'll say buy it from your local comic book shop or get it on eBay, or if you can, buy it digitally. That's fine too. So we are going to be reviewing this next, and then we'll be reviewing the DC All-In #1 special. But as for just this, won't be reading this anytime soon. I'm going to go watch some more Michael Bay movies. I love my explosions. So yeah, good God, was that a read? That certainly was a read of all time. Truly writing all over. Just could you at least give me a sex scene, Jonathan? Like, give me a scene where Howard blowing a bitch's back out. Just one. You know?
I don't think that's going to happen in his books, but
in the Michael Bay movie,
you will get weird looking Hulk.
No, all the characters are so bad. Anything outside of the Maker and fucking Tony's dad was just, is their character here? Holy crap. Like, you don't do my boy Thor like that. All these universes, come on, all these universes are coming in to face him. Where's Thor? Thor should be just raging through all these people, but it's okay. It's okay. I have the tools to cope with whatever life throws at me when it comes to Marvel Comics. Holy shit. So, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. We're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace. I am burning this. I'm joking, guys. I'm putting this on my freaking stash over here.
He's burning it, everyone.
Not yet. On a match or a lighter.
You know what's gonna be funny? You're gonna end up reading like Ultimate Spider-Man and something else and being like, oh, so that's why that happened.
I needed to take my pants off. Is why am I wearing pants?
As we all do at times.
Okay. Before we get into the next last topic for the stream, it's over. Oh no, I ran out of Little Caesars pizza.
Pizza.
Wow. Okay.
You might be too young to remember, but the old Little Caesars commercials were some of the most hilarious commercials that were ever on television.
I think the one commercial that always is going to stick out to me is the one where it's like, got milk, which was just so cringe now. If you really think, I was like, go up to a lady and be like, you got milk? She's probably going to punch you in the face. Oh my God. The Tootsie Roll, how many licks to get to the center of Tootsie?
Mm-hmm.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of one of those?
I mean, I guess it depends on how rough your tongue is. I don't know. I never thought of those things. I would see commercials and I'd be like, huh, that doesn't make me want to buy anything that you have.
The one verb, it's what you do. It's like, Yeah, that's what a verb is. It's the action. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make any sense? It's man. There was the one, the tobacco one, where the shark would be biting on this guy's arm, and he's like cigarette, and I'm like, what the fuck does this got to do with cigarettes?
He's gonna smoke them because smoking makes you cool.
Oh God, man. Oh God. Let's see what we have here. I just
We
want to
gotta
get
talk
up.
about Superman.
Just the last topic for the night. I'm gonna set it up right now. I was initially gonna be like, maybe we should just cover it Tuesday, but then I was like, nah, because then we'd be backed up on another thing that will happen.
I mean, it's not gonna be that long anyway. There's really not much to.
Oh, you think?
I think.
Kidding. You think? Damn it.
Yes.
Not good. Not good. Stop
'Cause, I
doing
mean,
that thinking.
There's more information, but I mean, really, it's May. You know, like what
It's
else
not
are we gonna
May.
do? I thought it
It
comes
is-
out in May.
I don't know when it starts. I don't know.
I thought it comes out like May 20 something.
Give me one sec. Oh, not the Superman movie, Superman comic book, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
Oh, wait, you're right. Huh.
Yeah, it comes out in May, I believe.
Let me see. Give me one moment here. Marvel Comics, more DC. Superman. Here we go. A moment here. We got some good stuff. The Man of Steel, he about to be eating good coming up this summer. Damn. Who drew that? That art looks great. Holy crap. You ever thought about, being black for a few days?
No.
Oh, me neither. That's why I'm a white guy. Trump is deporting illegal immigrants. Good. The fuck out of my country. Fucking hell. Remember that one black guy who was like, I'm not going back to Haiti. Biden forever. I love you, Obama. And I was like, who's gonna tell him? Oh God. Oh shit. How do you praise Obama if you're an immigrant? That's crazy. That man literally deported immigrants. But then was against like politics is so cringe sometimes, man. Like I feel like
I try not to care. Here's the thing. I try not to care about politics for a couple reasons. One, I don't ever follow the laws. I just live my life and do whatever the hell I feel like. If I get caught doing so, I really don't do anything bad, but if I get caught, I mean, it happens, I look at things like politics as something people care so deeply about that doesn't really change much.
Yeah.
You're fighting two sides of the same stupid ass coin.
Mhm.
And like people like not talking to their family because they voted for Trump. People so angry that the gay community and the trans community, they're fearing for their lives. It's like, dude, he was president before. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
What do you like? What your feelings got hurt. That's what happened.
Also, what they should do is they're just melting down and coping and seething because they have to be recognized as one gender. It's like, yeah, well, there's only two of them,
Well, I mean, people are just social media just gave so many voices to people who should have shut up.
Agreed. Yeah.
And they could think that about me. But here's the difference. I don't give a fuck if you think that about me. I don't get all in my feelings because someone doesn't accept me for me. I don't care. Out of my little circle of like people in real life, like in my everyday, you're part of my online friends community.
Oh God, I got demoted. Oh no,
we haven't met in real life.
Oh God, you gotta just come out to fucking Michigan. That's where I'm at.
No, you're not. I'm not going to Michigan.
I've no one who brags about living in Michigan. Nobody.
Who
even brags about living in Kansas or Nebraska?
People that like corn. I don't know.
Who in the world is like, hey, I love living in Nebraska? I've never heard that as a thing ever in my entire life.
I mean, I don't know. Their college football is like real big out there. So maybe the Corn Huskers,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Damn, she's hot.
I don't know. I've been through the whole Midwest, and it was very uninteresting to me. Great barbecue, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was thinking East Coast
Kansas
food.
was phenomenal. Kansas barbecue was phenomenal.
Why can't Ana de Armas put her butt in my face and then I could just smell it?
Well, you would have to know her,
Dang it. That
and
sucks.
then you would have to be comfortable enough with her.
Oh,
to
that's
where
gay.
You could
Laughs,
be like,
you're losing me.
"Can you stick
Damn it,
your
Laughs.
ass in my face?" I mean, the thing is, it's like you could go stick your ass in her face at any point in time. You just
Yeah,
have
then
to
you will
find
go
out
to
where
jail.
she's at.
And then you will go to jail.
Well, you might not. Is ass
I'm
to
black.
face?
Of course I'll go to jail.
No, just paint it white. You'll be fine. Wear a Richard Nixon mask.
You could do that. You could do the thing that Brian said in the episode of Family Guy when he tried to go find himself. Like one of the first 2 seasons, remember? And he was like a waiter trying to make it in LA. He ended up becoming like a porn director. And there was a line in there where he was like, "Would you like to try my smoked meat log?" It'll still always be one of the funniest shit I've ever heard, right? Just randomly. Remember, I should send you this so we could play it on stream sometimes. Remember that antidote Peter thought he took where he was not going to take damage and Brian did it with a frying pan?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I also remember when they became superheroes, and he's like, "I wish I had no bones." He was just that amorphous blob.
Oh,
Meg
shit.
had the super awesome ability to grow her fingernails.
Classic Family Guy. It's fucking
Scratch.
hilarious. That frying pan one will always get me just randomly, no matter what. Hey, hit me.
Good stuff.
Or the Sea Breeze one where he was like, "I'm gonna go back in time and I'll make sure this never happened." And he just did a spin and he just knocked himself.
Yeah. He's using the Superman 1 logic, dude.
Oh my God. Oh God. Okay. All right. Took some time for the newest topic. Now we're gonna get into it. You ready for an absolute gigabanger?
Oh yes.
It's
I'm
a little
ready.
bit. This guy's curling a girl. What the hell?
He's got
Crazy.
it made.
Man, she's hot. I might put my fist in her butt and dig her shit out. God damn.
Well, you might not need toilet paper then.
That's true. They don't even need to clean themselves if you dig them out.
Saving money.
That's
Saving
true.
money. Look at you. You're helping the economy.
And the ecosystem. Good
That's
gosh.
right.
All right. Give me one moment here. About to set this up right now. And are they still going? No way. Oh my God, really? Show more. Really? You guys have to give me clout. Please retweet everything I do and make sure that Elon Musk sees one of these shows and he retweets it. Never gonna happen, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Summer of Superman event. So as you guys know, I love the Man of Steel. He's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Some would say, and this is true, the first superhero that they probably ever discovered and seen. And I'm black.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Shut up, bitch! Oh my God!
My brain turned off,
You're
dude.
ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
Just in that order, okay?
Sure. You got PayPal?
Good Lord. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, God, man.
You want to play games, motherfucker?
Gosh. All right. Let's have some giga-fun in blowing out my wife's back. Guys, I'm joking. We got to entertain you guys on the show. We can't just be like, "Oh, well, I like this page. It's really good. Subscribe."
The page
Yeah.
was good. It was great.
God, this man's just trying to be. This man has a Jonathan Hickman shrine in his house somewhere.
Yeah, it's usually where I do most of my masturbating.
God damn. So just like R. Kelly. Just joking, guys. Joking. Black people never are bad people. Wink, wink. All right. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Summer of Superman event coming up later on this year in 2025 in anticipation for the brand new Superman movie that will be coming out. And that Superman movie is directed by James Gunn, and that will be the official launch for the DCU, as he did claim. This was something that James Gunn did say, that Creature Commandos was the soft launch of the DCU, but the new Superman movie will be the beginning and the big launch of the DCU. So to correspond with the Superman movie coming out to kick off the DCU, they are doing a Summer of Superman event. We already talked about, Dan Slott and Ralph Albuquerque. They're going to be doing a Superman series called Superman Unlimited #1. And when we did that video, we didn't know, were they going to cancel Joshua Williamson's run? What are they going to do with Action Comics? And like we even said in that video, they're doing the Superman All-Stars, where like you get a known writer to do like a 3-part little mini series on Action Comics, and then they kind of just move on. They have weekly Action Comics now. Superman's been getting a lot of love. So for people to say like, well, DC only just cares about guys, Superman gets a ton of love. Like a lot of love, honestly. So James Gunn announced this on Twitter about the Summer of Superman event. And I was like, hell yeah. I love the Man of Steel. It's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Still to this day, a truly misunderstood character. People say he's boring and all the other nonsense. It's like, okay, you think Superman's boring? You haven't read good Superman stories.
Well, they just don't understand Superman. That's all it is.
That's true. And we're going to be going over what is going to be coming out for the Summer of Superman event. And I think it's super poetic, let's say. Superman's been dormant movie-wise for a very, very long time. I don't know how you felt about Man of Steel, but I thought it was not that good. Honestly, not even close to what Superman is as a character, honestly. We haven't had a Superman movie in like 12 years, And I'm like, hey, I have read the James Gunn interview that he did with The Wrap. It sounds like he really does understand Superman. So I hope that the Superman comic books coming out can truly reflect how good the character is going to actually be portrayed potentially in live action, but as well as like, if you're not even interested in watching the movie, can the comics keep you interested in the Man of Steel? Because we got Action Comics, guys, which is being written, well, currently right now it's weekly. It might change in the future. You're going to have Dan Slott, Superman Unlimited. You have Joshua Williamson, Superman ongoing series, which might still continue. Are they going to keep doing their Superman All-Stars initiative they have going on? Then around this time period coming out, if you check the DC solicitation, so people don't know what that is, it basically tells you the upcoming comics coming out. You're getting the Adventures of Superman compendium. So like the comic book format, the comic book series, essentially it's like the Batman adventure. So Superman gets that in a reprinted compendium. So much shit for coming up for Superman. And I'm all excited for it. DC Comics announces Summer of Superman teeing up new Man of Steel series. That art layer looks great, honestly. DC Comics has released more information about its upcoming Summer of Superman, teasing exciting team-ups from some of the highest tier creative talents in the comic book industry, as well as major plot developments, including the return of Lex Luthor, all starting with the Summer of Superman special, which hits in April. As announced by DC, Dan Slott, author of the upcoming Superman Unlimited series, will join forces with Justice League Unlimited author Mark Waid for the Summer of Superman special one-shot issue, which will officially inaugurate the publishing initiative of the same name, slated to run over the ensuing several months. And that just looks great. Man, that was a great piece of art right there. According to the publisher, this slate of exciting titles is meant to celebrate the Man of Steel's enduring legacy as a pop culture icon as he approaches his 90-year anniversary as comic book history. Yes, you'll know, it all started with Superman. Action Comics #1 all started with him. Without
That's crazy.
nothing. The way superheroes are, just honestly a great character. And I would, hey, at some point when I get a lot more time on my hands, I would love to do like Superman, like reading recommendations about which book I think is the best book to start, reading Superman comics as well, because I think it's a truly fascinating character. And I think a lot of people truly do not understand how great of a character he really is, because for a lot of you guys, you only watch movies and television. And as you know, that can honestly not interpret him the best way. But I will say, to me, the best interpretation of him live action would be obviously Superman 78, obviously Christopher Reeves. I think you have Smallville, which is a very, very good job. Superman the animated series did a great job, which tied him into the Justice League animated cartoons. I think, fucking hell, what was it? Jeez, Superman and Lois did a very, very good job of Superman. Taylor Hoechlin did a fantastic job on the character. So DC had previously teased the Summer of Superman alongside the announcement of Superman Unlimited, and now the publisher has given fans a much better idea of what will entail. As noted by the publisher, Superman 25 will feature the return of Lex Luthor to DC continuity, while Superman the World will team up authors Dan Jurgens and Lee Weeks with a team of 15 international creators to bring Superman beyond the scope of the United States in a title the publisher touted will be published simultaneously in over a dozen different countries.
Wow.
Okay. Interesting. Of course, all the major Summer of Superman titles will ship with a number of exciting must-have variant covers. Of course, must have these variant covers, even though it's the same shit in the story, the interiors. These are must-have variant covers, as illustrated by the host of covers announced for Superman number 25 from a who's who of comic book art giants, including Gilliman, March, Jeff Deckel, Raphael Grassetti, Dave Johnson, Laura Braga, and Fico
Ocio.
What a name. You guys with these comic book artist names, get better names, please. Even that only scratches the surface of DC Comics' ambitious plan for this extended ode to Superman, an initiative which is designed to appeal to new and old readers alike, as well as multiple different age groups. Just going to stop you right there. I like the idea of honoring Superman. Don't get me wrong. I love that my boy is getting honored for his tenure as being one of my favorite superheroes. Let's not pretend that this is going to get in new readers and old readers. It never happened. This mythical audience you keep trying to get, it's not there. You just try to captivate the readers that you lost over the years. How about get those people back? Okay, let's start there. Then talk about getting new people. Get the people that you lost with your multiple reboots constantly, DC.
It's going to be hard to get readers that quit. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because there's so many back issues people can read. There's so much stuff, that it's just once you've lost faith in a comic book character or a company, you very rarely do you go back. And many people that do go back, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know where to start. And they pick up something just because it's there and it's garbage. And then they're like, fuck this, I'm done.
I agree. As exciting as the overall Summer of Superman announcement is, what is more remarkable about it is the coordinated effort to reach new readers of all ages. In collusion with the release of the latest cinematic Superman entry, James Gunn's Superman, which will arrive in theaters on July 11th, 2025, this is exemplified by Superman's Good Guy Gang, the first in a new series of graphic novels intended for early readers from author and illustrator Rob Justice. As intended, it should serve as a great introduction to DC Comics for adolescent readers. This is the thing, though. Superman should essentially appeal to kids because he's simple on the surface, but complex in theory, right?
Yes.
You could essentially give a kid several different Superman books right now and have them read it. They're not that Superman's not a gory character.
No, what they would, if they're going to try to do that though, they need to get out of their own way, and they need to license the character out to like some publishing house that does young children books. That's like if they're going to be serious about it. But knowing DC, they're going to do it themselves, and nobody's going to know where they're at. unless they're in Walmart or unless they're, but if you, I don't know what's like a young children's, publisher or whatever, but if they had something like that, like my son,
They do a collab with Scholastic that does the Dogman Captain Underpants
like
books. That'd be a good idea.
my son is young and he gets all sorts of magazines that are like, here does the order books from, and we order books for him because he likes reading. So you got to do something like that. That would be huge if you did that. Like if you had like a real writer write Superman with like the storyboards, but still had pictures and stuff, and did it outside of a comic book form to grab the young readers. Because then, like, I know what I did when I was young. I heard, oh wow, there's other stuff about this guy, or there's other stuff about this. Where is it? How do I get to it? And in the back of that book, you recommend and tell the parents where they can get these, family friendly books that the kids could read.
This is another thing that I keep in mind, guys, when you're watching this video, I do love the idea of celebrating Superman. I truly do. I think it's an awesome idea. DC did some great ideas that I've been praising recently. Compacts Comics, Finest Line. They're getting comic books in Dollar Tree to put on the shelves, which are for $1. Awesome idea. Could we stop doing this thing where we pretend that the movies get fans to read comics? It doesn't.
It does not.
It never happens. And even I would say this: the only way that ever happened was when James Gunn, when he first was announced that he's the Kevin Feige of the DC universe, when he had that Chapter 1 video for DC where he was like, okay, this is what the movies are based off of. And it got Booster Gold, Supergirl, Superman, the Authority books to sell out. Unless he's going to do that, which was proven he did get books to sell out, which is awesome. Unless he does that, again, even when they added comic book recommendations to the previous DCEU movies like to like The Flash and Aquaman and Blue Beetle and Shazam, it didn't spike comic book sales. So unless James Gunn literally makes a video like he did before, explaining his plans with the universe about what books the characters are based off of or what arcs of those books are based off of, it's not going to bump up sales. People that are going to watch that Superman movie, and I hope it does well. And I think it's going to do well. I think James Gunn's going to do a great job on it. That's not going to make more people read Superman comics.
I hope it does.
It's just not.
It's if Marvel has shown anything, it's not.
It's that we know that's not going to happen. Yeah, Marvel's the biggest one of that. Yeah, the MCU could not get new people into reading comic books.
No, it got to the point where fans were hating the comic book fans.
Yeah.
MCU fan, because it was like, I watch the movies. I don't read comics.
Yeah, that's like, it. Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Or there'll be the people being like, well, it's in the comic books. It's literally what
that whole, those arguments were so stupid. I left so many chat groups because of that.
The Summer of Superman is in your mom's butt. I'm joking, guys. I have to entertain you guys. The Summer of Superman is a critical way for DC Comics to capitalize on that. Not just in terms of boosting sales. Guys are only doing this to boost sales. Do you know all of their books, when they have this event happen, they're going to be in the top 10. Don't kid yourself. A bunch of new number ones, all those variant covers. This is going to spike their sales as far as like comic book shops ordering these books, speculators and collectors and all that shit. But in adding legions of new Superman fans to their ranks moving forward, that's just cap. Whoever wrote this is capping out their ass. The first part is agreeable, but that second part is just cap. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you that right now.
The only, like I said, the only way that they're going to grow is they got to be young.
Yeah.
Because you can't, no, like teenager, like I couldn't get my kids when they were teens. I couldn't, like, they went through the whole first phase of the Marvel movie. I couldn't get them to read a freaking Avengers book.
Yeah.
I couldn't get them to read, and they loved that stuff.
The big reason why what Laps is saying is true, because this is the thing with movies, and credit to the studio, they figured this out earlier. And a lot of people that read comics knew this too. Movies and the animated shows or live action shows do not reflect the books. And it's not even the fact that they don't even reflect them 80% accurately. You're pretty much looking at a 2080 level of accuracy right there, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. Okay. Movies and TV, when it comes to superhero stuff, never reflects the comics. That's the reason why you also can't get movie people and TV people to read the comics, because even if you're someone like me, I wanted to actually read the stories that I did know. I did, but I'm like, what is that, like 1, 2 out of like 1,000
like
people?
you're in the
I'm in the
you're in the 1%. Yeah, we'll just say 1%, but
Keep in
like
mind,
you're in the 1% of people. Yes,
it's such a drastic big difference between the movies and shows. Honestly, you might look at the movies badly after you knowing how much they butcher shit, or vice versa. It's just, I don't get why they still think this is going to be a thing, but fans should expect even more announcements about the Summer of Superman in the coming weeks and months. DC has mapped out a packed release calendar from April onward, but it wouldn't be unwarranted to expect additional surprises along. With the hype around Superman reaching a level it hasn't reached in years, the Summer of Superman is a critical way for DC Comics to capitalize on that.
Now, I will agree that the hype for Superman is bigger than it's been in years.
It's true. Yeah.
So I still agree with what we just said. It's not going to, but if there is a time to start an initiative, you can't just, as much as I want comic book shops, brick and mortars to succeed, this has to be at Walmart. This has to be at, places that parents go all the time, that
Dollar
kids
General,
can see
I always say. Yeah.
Dollar General, places
99-cent
like
stores. Yeah.
It has to be in these places.
They basically do what they just did with Dollar Tree. Do that. I don't get, if you can do it with Dollar Tree, I know you can do it with other retailers. You're selling the books for literally $1.25. Tax on those books is like maybe a quarter. You
gotta go to places that like drugstores,
gas stations, pharmacies, liquor stores.
Where parents still go and they see these things, and you gotta package it with a figure. Do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna get into the movie,
like they did with like Tom McFarlane did with the DC Page Punchers, toy and a comic. Great idea.
Yeah. You get like a limited edition cover with a comic, and you have to get good people on it. You can't get Mark Capuzio and Drac Marin on fucking Who Gives a Shit #1. Like, it's never gonna work.
That's the thing coming up, is they're gonna have one book with a bunch of writers on it. I mean, like, that is so up and down, because
it is.
One writer on one of the Superman books could write a fucking banger of a story. Next writer could just tank all that person's set up. Action Comics hasn't really been a perennial bestseller in a long time. Joshua Williamson's Superman run's been an okay seller. I mean, what else is there? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, what else? I mean, World's Finest is an okay seller still.
Yeah, I still think World's Finest is fantastic. I still think it's really good.
Yeah.
But it's one of those
Absolute Superman is selling
Absolute
okay
Superman
right now.
is selling, right.
Yeah.
But that could lose its luster. Like, we'll talk about that next time we talk, but that could lose its luster very quickly.
Very quickly, yes. Not just in terms of boosting sales, but in adding legions of new Superman fans to their ranks moving forward, which is an even greater victory for the publisher than simply selling more comics. So I get what they're doing here. I understand.
I get it. And
it's
like
optimism.
Right there,
I like it.
Like that kids book they showed down there. Like,
yeah,
this
one
a little bit.
That's
like
cool.
that.
Yeah.
If that's something that's like in Walmart and at the dollar store and that, like, you have it like with a figure that comes with it, or a stretchy guy, or a this or that, and it's like $2. Someone's gonna see that brightly colored guy. Superman is made to stand out. Like,
this piece looks great. It looks beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Look at that splash page right there. Looks great. Like, I can tell they're trying with this. The thing is, my biggest problem, I know the trades have to report this, but I do truly feel like they're trying to do a good event here for Superman. I want it to come out good because I love Superman. But if we're being honest here, like you said,
DC's track record isn't there.
Yeah, consistency also isn't there. And keep in mind, this would be a better idea if it could expand into like gas stations, drugstores and liquor stores and big box retailers. It's the thing where it's like, this is also a sales gimmick too. Let's not pretend that, because right now, outside of Absolute Superman, the Superman All-Stars event, Action Comics, and Joshua Williamson stuff, okay, how many more of these people are going to be here, like, let's say, writing these stories long term? Like, is Dan Slott going to be writing Superman Unlimited long term. He said he's not going to do a retread of his previous works from Marvel here. He said that. Okay. So he said we're not going to get a superior Superman. But it's like, I initially do believe that, but it's like, hey, when your book starts waning a little bit after the first few arcs, do you entertain the idea of that? Because that's what every writer says. Oh, I will never do that. And then
how motivated are you going to be once the hype dies out? Because if we know anything about movies, when I was a kid, movie was in a theater for like 3 and 4 months, and then it took like a year for that shit to come out on DVD or
it would come out like 2 months.
VHS. Now it's like
movies used to be in fucking theaters for like 3 months. Yeah, crazy.
And then like it comes out like 2 months later on Blu-ray. Like so, you know, and comics like this initiative, if it's not coming out every week or whatever like that, that's a very limited time. You know, you're gonna have April, May, June, and then July. You're gonna have 3 issues before the movie hits. So you got 2 issues after that? So you got 1 arc? Is that what they're planning? Basically, I would assume. You know, because after
they're running so many books. Like we said earlier, they're running Action Comics, Absolute Superman. They're running Joshua Williamson's Superman run. They're gonna have Superman Unlimited. That book you said that looks like World's Finest counts. That's Superman adjacent. Then you have that Captain Underpants artwork style book. You have that one. Dan Slott, Superman Unlimited. That runs.
Yeah, so there's going to be like, you know, and I just don't see that going more than like 6 issues unless it does well. Which it's like, how many new flavors of the month are you going to have whenever you're doing this absolute universe? Like, which we all know has to coincide. It has to set up with the DC universe.
Oh, it's the one-shot special. There's a Summer of Superman special #1. We know that's going to sell very well.
That comes out in
April.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many things that it's like, and we were talking about the absolute universe faltering. Could this even kill its own thing that it does? Because
I will say this. You're right.
If this is good, does it take attention away from that? And if it's not good, right?
Yep, I agree.
If this stuff isn't good, how much can you still put into the other universe that you're doing? Because, like, you're trying to start trying to start a cinematic universe, which makes way more money than your comics.
Would you count Justice League along with like World's Finest as a Superman adjacent book? Yeah, the Superman adjacent book. Yeah.
Even if he's not in it for a month or 2, you think Justice League, you think the Trinity, you think Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, like you totally think them.
Oh God. So even James Gunn, he says, a fantastic way to celebrate Summer of Superman. Many thanks to Dan Slott, Mark Waid, Williamson Josh, and artist George Jimenez for lending their talents to this project. Summer of Superman special #1.
Yeah, that's a Jorge Jimenez right there. That picture, that's definitely Jorge Jimenez.
Jorge Jimenez? Yeah.
You can tell.
And, you know, cringy Snyder bros are like, we don't want this. We want Zack Snyder. No one wants Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's a fucking lunatic and fucking trash-ass director in and of itself. But, yeah, I agree with you, too. The problem here, man, is like, what if this stuff is good? Hypothetically, say all these runs are knocking out the park. Why would you want to read Absolute Superman? People can be like, well, why? It's good. That's the key thing right there. Absolute Superman, now Absolute Batman, and Wonder Woman are in a separate universe. It's not exactly main continuity. If all this main continuity stuff ends up being good, that takes away from Absolute Superman, because you're like, well, why am I reading a non-continuity book if I can just read all these good continuity books?
Yeah, and those universes, they're set up to fight each other. They're gonna it has to happen. So when you take away, if that story has nothing to do with this giant universe you just set up, of course you're gonna put all your eggs in the basket of a movie property that brings you in possibly $1 billion. Not this sells, 80,000 a month. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, and it's like, why are you I understand why you're doing what you're doing. I get it. I understand. But this was the worst time to start the absolute universe. Like, you're starting a cinematic universe. Like, dude,
because they're gonna have a lot of sales bumps because the Absolute line has been doing well for them. Their collected editions, as far as the compact comics and the DC Finest line, are doing very well in terms of sales. Then you also have this is gonna bump Superman sales as well. Then you also have, come on, guys, who's coming into Back to Batman in March for Hush 3, technically?
Yeah,
Jim Lee.
And
Jim Lee Olsen comes back.
so think of everything we just said, right?
Mhm.
Now we know because we're comic book fans and we know this.
Mhm.
If you're new, how the fuck do you start? We're bringing in all these new fans.
Wasn't Mr. Ben supposed to do
Well,
that?
what are you gonna read? Are you gonna read the absolute universe? You're gonna read the world's finest universe? You're gonna read the ultimate universe? You're gonna read the blah 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 blah. Like, dude, nobody knows what
That's the thing. Sure, that's what this event's supposed to be. We're gonna get in new people. You're gonna get in new people by starting 4 different new books and a one shot.
that possibly might not have anything to do with what's going on in your main line.
They're all like in continuity, but it's a different, the same
Continuity adjacent, like with the
it's like
Superman adjacent. Yes.
Yeah, like what the? I guess they're going we're gonna go big or go home. Because I just never found this idea. We're like, oh, new Superman movie's coming out. Now we're just gonna get a bunch of new comic readers. How in the world did you? That has no conversion rate at all. Never has. It's never been a thing.
Because if it would, people would have been reading Superman now.
Yeah,
that would have spiked it now.
You know what's crazy?
Get in line for
January. Let's
boom. Here come. Let's see what
video. For this video, let's see the #1 selling Superman book on the ICV2 chart. So we have.
It's gotta be Absolute Superman. It has to be.
Yeah, you're right. It probably has to be.
It would have to be.
Let's see what the Superman series from Joshua Williamson is also selling. So let's see if it's even on here. I know World's Finest is.
That's got to be down lower.
Usually somewhere here. Okay.
World's Finest usually like 15 to 10.
Okay, so what's top 10? Let's do 10 first. 10. Superman, where is he at? He's not even here.
No, because it's always always.
Hold on. Do I have the right book? Oh, wait. Good God.
Ultimate Spider-Man is going to be.
That's 2024. I'm retarded.
Okay,
don't count that. Actually,
Ultimate
that's
Spider-Man
a Ghost Machine one shot.
Well.
I know what that is.
That's Jeffy Johnsy.
Good old Jason Fabak.
Dude, his art is freaking phenomenal.
It's really
good. So good, dude.
Peter J. Tomasi.
And Fabak, he's such a nice guy too. He's such a nice dude.
Oh, I will say this, guys. I can't wait to read Rook Exodus. The trade is coming out very soon. I had the single issues, but too much stuff I was buying, so I had to put it down. But I will be reading Rook Exodus the trade when it drops. But yes, so let's do top 10. So this is from last month of the year.
So December. It's gonna be the Absolute books.
Okay, so let's just do 10. That's it. Absolute Superman #2, just #2, and Batman's here.
Yeah, and then Marvel, you got Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yep, yeah. Okay, so Marvel and DC dominate right now for top 10. So where is Joshua Williamson's
But even
run?
look at that. You know it's going to be low because look, Batman #155 is out of Batman. The main line is out of the top 10.
You know what's crazy? They just did a all-in jumping on point for Batman 2. Remember they had the new all-in line where Scott Snyder was like, these are all jumping in on points. You can just jump in right now, not have to worry about the previous arcs. Guys, the main Batman, the mainline Batman book is not in.
Like, ugh.
Well, the thing is, if the mainline Batman book is falling out of the top 10, top 12 is, I won't say it's a pause for concern, but
I think that is because I'm sorry, the Absolute stuff is selling. Yeah. But the mainline Batman has always
that's why
been
they have to go to #1 after Jim Lee's Hush 2. They have to.
And even look at that. Absolute Batman #1 is still before Batman.
Because the Absolute, you know what's crazy? Even though the Absolute universe might not last very long, that is a jumping on point. If you just read 100%. Absolute books, that's an absolute. You won't have to worry about anything prior to Batman because of that. Not a single thing. Transformers still doing very well. I like that. Well, Justice. Oh God, guys, if Justice League is way down here, that's not good.
No, especially since they were gone for like 2 years after Dark Crisis.
Where is Joshua?
It's not even there.
Joshua Williamson Superman run's not here.
It's
no, you're right. It's not here.
It's not there. So that's a massive problem.
So coming up for Joshua Williamson's run, that's going to be on issue 23. Come on, his run's only just 23 issues so far. It's not here at all.
But that's a massive problem when G.I. Joe and other things, not saying that they're bad books, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're on the list, the fact that the New Gods is on this list and Action Comics is there. unless we're just missing it. Like,
Where's Action? Yeah, Action Comics. Is it here?
it's
I
down,
haven't
yeah,
seen
it's
it in a
down.
while.
It's down at the bottom. Action Comics.
Oh, that's not good either.
Action
That's
Comics
only
44.
Keep in mind, that's only because they did it weekly. Keep in mind, guys, when they weren't doing it weekly, it was not even in 50.
No.
Because if the Action Comics is that readily available, of course you're gonna get it. Why not?
Mhm.
It's Action Comics, you know? But yeah, DC's playing with fire. I want the Summer Superman event to work, guys. I really do. I love Superman.
I want. Here's the thing. I read more DC than I do Marvel, but I want them
do
all
too.
to succeed. There has to be. I'm glad that we're seeing like Transformers and things up there.
Mhm.
That's good for the
That's
business.
the best run on. I think
That's
that series
good.
is the best series on the market right now. That's the best series.
That's
That series
good
is
for
so
the
good.
It's good for the business. You know what I mean? And you need to push the creative to get better.
Yeah. Any other closing thoughts you have about DC doing?
No. I think we said everything we needed to say.
Yeah, as you guys know, for me, my boy Superman turns 90 years old, and well, I was
That's
here.
crazy to me.
I
That's
90 years. Holy fucking shit! If creators Jerry Siegel, Joel Schuster, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Siegel and Schuster.
It's crazy that people say Superman's a Christian allegory, guys. Just
They
pointing
were
out here,
Jewish.
he might be, but let's point it here. Jews don't believe in the Messiah. They don't believe Jesus was them. Just putting out there. People are like, oh, but he died and he came resurrected.
That was way after them.
Yeah, like
Like
that's more like
their
pure coincidence than anything.
their Superman like punched people in the face and
I will just say this:
picked up cars and
him coming back from the dead, like he rose from the dead. That was more coincidence than what they were trying to do.
he never died.
Yeah.
He went into the Kryptonian healing coma.
So
I know. I just reread it.
Oh,
I reread the whole thing, and like when this is what I'll tell you what happens when Superman's gone. Right, this is what happens. You get comics where Jimmy Olsen does stuff, or Lois Lane does stuff, or God forbid, Bibbo Babowski, the stupid sailor guy, does things where he saves a woman from throwing bags of puppies into the ocean. That was a comic. That was literally a comic book that happened after Superman died. Yeah.
Well,
so that's what you get.
That's what. Yeah. Good Lord, man.
So please stop. Just write good Superman.
Or just people gotta stop reading so much into stuff. Some stuff is okay. There's some similarities there. It's like, Sonic can transfer into Supersonic. People think like, oh my god, that means Akira Toriyama must have like collabed with the Sonic creator. No, he could have just like took the inspiration to create a super character because he just thought it was cool.
Everybody wants to put their feelings and their politics and their stuff into everything. Oh, that's definitely this. It's like, no,
but
dude.
it happens with Superman a lot. People are like, well, Superman should be doing that. It's not the projection to me. We're debating about shit in a make-believe world. It's crazy. Even in a make-believe world, people still don't understand what Superman would do. He wouldn't just. People's like, people use this argument all the time. It's like, well, if he's fighting Batman, he could just one-shot him. Then you don't know who Superman is. He would never do that to him. He would never intentionally run up to Bruce and kill him if he could. That tells me right there, you do not know who Superman is. He would never do that to him. Even if he could do it, he wouldn't do it.
No, he definitely could. He's just not going to.
Yeah, because he's not a murderer. It's kind of just what it is. All right. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. We're signing out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace. Oh, God. 2 topics. Banged out on my wife. So before we go, we got about another 5 minutes here. We're doing this on Tuesday. And Friday we have the DC All-In special because enough Marv. After that, I go back to DC for a little bit. I gotta go between them both. Holy crap, John. You're gonna blow me out. Thank God there's DC. Thank God there's more comics too. You understand? I like indie comics. I do. But don't ever subject yourselves to like one publisher. I
can't.
There's no way. I couldn't. Yeah.
Like I have a lot of DC, but I have a lot of Marvel. Like if I were to bring out my whole collection, it's probably as my Marvel collection is probably as big as some people's actual collections. Like I have hundreds of thousands of books. I probably altogether with trades and omnis and singles, I probably have about 250,000 books. I'm not joking. When I'm talking like my house is huge. This is just what I put behind me to look cool for when I record.
God, man.
I have a whole giant room that is walled all the way around, bookshelves built into the walls, 19 high, all the way around. And I have giant tubs filled, stacked to the roof.
Yeah, for me, if people don't know, well, I can't reveal that.
No, you're fine.
There's packages over here full of books. Then there's packages on the floor over there of books. Then in there, because no one's ever seen the front room, there's packages of other shit I've already ordered. And then there's shit I've ordered today that'll be coming in. I have a lot of stuff. All my floppies generally go in my dressers because that's the best place to preserve them. I have books and floppies that are still in my closet. I haven't even opened. So I have tubs of books that where I moved, I couldn't open them. Not floppies and trades. Oh my God. But I did learn. Okay, so as a first-time buyer on Amazon, if you buy books on Amazon, you could. I would say don't. Tag off acceptable. Acceptable. Do not buy acceptable books. I did it a few times. I got burned a few times. I wouldn't do it. Most of the time it worked. Good or very good. Or new.
I got burned.
Do not do acceptable. Acceptable. Dude, I'll say right now, if you buy acceptable books, that shit's coming with cum stains. I'm telling you that right now.
It's definitely not coming good. I'll tell you that. It ain't that.
God.
Like,
God.
it's. Plus, I also have a lot of years on. I know I might look younger, but I'm in my 40s. I've been collecting for 30 years.
Good Lord, man.
So, like, I have a lot of years on things. I also have a massive fetish with shoes for some reason. I don't know why. I have a huge Jordan collection. It's ridiculous. Hey. So I have two giant money pits in my life.
Famous thing of Michael Jordan. Republicans buy sneakers too.
They definitely do. I'm not a Republican, but I'm not a Democrat either. But I definitely buy his shoes.
He knew which market had most of the money. He knew that. That's how you don't alienate your audience. It's perfect quote right there.
Well, that, and you also have to be really good.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
Because if he did, like he said, if he, talked all that shit and wasn't good, nobody would care.
What in the world is wrong with people? People are weird, man.
But you're just
as you know, I love comic books. I love talking about them. It's just,
yes, sir.
That's why I hate reading bad ones. I'm not saying I've read a bad one truly recently, but like when we read that Deadpool Wolverine WW3, I was like, holy fuck, this is a waste of time.
I'll tell you what, I was massively surprised with the Back in Action. I actually went and I bought Jeremy Adams' Aquaman just because I liked this so much.
I have that one too. I recently got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see what that's about, so I'm going to get into that too. I just wanted, I was like, wow, this dude can write. I liked it.
I'll say this right now for any of the indie creators, work on writing. No one's on Jeremy Adams' level. Sorry, you're not. You have to really work on that technique, And keep in mind, I know
he definitely has a ton of yarn. They are. They're hard. You have to know the characters really well to really write, because anybody could write a plot. Like, okay, bad guy puts good guy in peril. Okay. But it's what's behind, how are they going to react? How much history do you know? And I think that's why, like with Jeff Johns, people really love him or they don't like him because they don't like the changes he makes or they don't like this. But dude, like you read any of
guy where I was fine with a lot of his work.
I liked a lot of his stuff. I mean, I have most of everything that dude wrote, and I like a lot of it, but I also understand people not liking certain things because people don't like change, they don't like change at all unless it's change,
especially comic book fan.
Oh yeah, sure. Definitely.
Yeah. The thing is, I wanted to ask this before I didn't have a chance to last week. Are you going to be trying to basically put out more content on your channel moving forward, or are you still taking a little break?
Me, no, I'll put out more stuff. I try to bank a bunch of stuff. I took a break for a long time. I have like 3 videos that are done. I'm just gonna put them out here probably, maybe not next week, the week after.
Oh, okay.
I do mostly things for fun, just because like, and I don't critic anybody that does it full time or anything like that. For me, this is just something I do for fun. I don't want to make money off of it, me personally.
Oh, yeah.
I just do this just because I like to. So I like to do it at my own pace. And when you
Yeah.
watch my videos, they're like done. They're not rushed. They're done. I try to make them the best that I can.
That's why I throw in the topics of the show, because, oh God, I never get burnt out with comic books. I love them so much, but I knew if I only just did like reviews like myself so much, I would just blow my brains out. I'm not kidding.
It does.
Because have you read it? Because I know you do this. When you read a trade or a single issue, for me to give the best review of something, that has to be the only thing on my mind. Because a lot of people can watch more than one thing and they keep them both in their minds. I can't do that because I feel like I do a disservice to both products. I feel like the best way for me to review something, to give it my best all, is to only think about that one thing and only get that one thing done in my mind first. You know?
Well, that's kind of why I looked at like, that's why I do like the Bat Bits thing, and I do the X-Men one. The X-Men one's gonna be out next, and then probably a Bat Bits, then Absolute Batman #2. But I took 2 massive characters from each major publisher, and I was like, I want to break them down into, I want to start from the beginning and do as many as I possibly can. And that's why I do the Batman one, because I figured that's an easy character. People know who he is, and people don't know the origins of him. They know the origin as in why he's Batman, but like the old comics that are hilarious to me. They're so funny. Like if you just put on that Bat Bits playlist and you just watch them, they're like 6. Some of them are like, the longest one I think is like 7 minutes, but they're freaking hilarious, dude. They are so ridiculous. Some of the stories that passed for, comics back then. It's like Batman didn't have like a big villain. Even like the Joker, when he first started, the Joker was just trying to steal gems. He was just a jewel thief.
The way the characters like initially are introduced in certain books, because a lot of people don't understand with comics. Some of the most famous characters you guys know and love don't even appear in their own series first. Like Green Lantern appears in a showcase line of books first. So does Flash. Blade appears in Dracula book first. Iron Man, Tales of Suspense first. Thor, I think it was not Journey to Mystery. He doesn't appear that.
It was it was that was, I think, Loki's first thing was Mystery.
Yeah. Yep. So
I can't remember.
Anything else you want to say before we head out?
No.
Before we see it on Tuesday.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Yes.
Stay safe out there.
Coming up with us, I will be still with Savage Dad. I just literally talked to him today. We're trying to figure out a time to do the show. Hopefully we can do it on Tuesday. Hopefully. He said Sunday. Don't know if I'll have time on Sunday, because on Sunday I have to talk to another comic book guy that's in Australia, and if I don't do it at that exact time on Sunday, I can't get him for a while. And then I have the Cloud9 podcast, so I may not have Savage Dad on Sunday, but if I don't, I can have him on Tuesday, because we're going to have essentially, if all my plans pan out, we'll have 3, because I have to review a book with Anna, because Anna's Game Line. We're going to do a comic book review of a book, actually, and we'll do a topic like we do for our show. We're going to do the show at 4 or 5 p.m. PST, because you have to work early the next day, so I'm 3 hours ahead of you, so we'll do it earlier in the day. So 4 or 5 p.m. PST, like an hour, 30 minutes, we'll review this one topic, easy out, and then Savage Dad. So got a lot of content.
We should do a show with everybody one time. That would be fun.
That would be fun. But the problem here is, oh God, Savage Dad, this man be like, hey man, can you read some modern stuff? Fuck modern stuff.
I'm just talking about just like, even if it's not comics, just talk about everyday stuff.
Okay. So the panel shows tomorrow at 6 p.m. if you want to come.
6 p.m. your time?
Yes, that'll be 9 for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to come on tomorrow, you can. So yeah, Mondays
I'll talk to you on X. Yeah.
Okay. So Mondays is 6, Wednesdays is 8, and Wednesday we can't. Obviously, that's way too late. and
Yeah.
Saturdays is 6. So 6,
Yeah.
8, 6. That'll be the days. All right, guys. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you guys later.